What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN's live coverage of the PlayStation 2013 event, an event that promises to give us a glimpse of the future of the PlayStation business. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by my hetero life mate and noted PlayStation expert, Greg Miller.
Hey, Beyond, everyone. Good to have you. Damon, first off, round of applause for this new set. Look at this thing.
Yes, we'll applaud ourselves.
Yeah, well, we didn't do anything, clearly.
No, we are very excited. This is our first time broadcasting for the new set
stuff
here.
in the back here. It still feels a bit empty, like we're missing something very important.
Like coffee?
No, well, that too, but for a PlayStation... Oh, I know what it is. BAM! Shuhei Yoshida joining us the entire live stream, of course. President of Sony Worldwide Studios. It wouldn't be a PlayStation conversation without him.
Greg, obviously, every single person watching this knows who Shuhei
Obviously,
Yoshida is. But just for fun, maybe we'll explain who this individual is.
Shuhei Yoshida. He is a frequent contributor to Podcast Beyond here on IGN.com. He's also president of Sony Worldwide Studios. He's the guy who makes sure the games you want happen all the time. That's true. He's got a new joint coming out called Shu soon. I took a very niche joke and made it even smaller. True. There you go.
But Shuhei he's a big good friend of ours.
Good guy. He's right there. He's in New York City right now at PlayStation 2013, gearing up for whatever is about to happen.
What is about to happen will happen in about 55 minutes from now. Greg, Sony has not come out and said we are going to announce the PlayStation 4, but all signs point to a reveal of Sony's next console.
Right, Damon. That's what's so exciting about this. You know, we talk about it all the time that, PlayStation 4. It's been on the tip of our tongues forever now. How many rumor stories does IGN run about the PlayStation 4?
I don't know exactly.
A lot is the answer, ladies. It's been happening forever, right? That we've known this, and now we finally have something concrete-ish, right? Forever, whenever you ask Sony about it, what is this, PlayStation 4? We don't know anything about that. We don't comment on rumors and speculation. And ever since this event got announced, right, there's like, the New York City event's about the future of PlayStation. The future of PlayStation. It's, they're not saying no. They're not saying it's not PlayStation 4. And as big as they are going with this, such a footprint. You remember when of course, how could you forget when they announced the NGP 2 years ago? We sent Ryan Clements to Japan, and it was this tiny little thing. Remind you, NGP went on to become the PlayStation Vita. At its announcement event, Clements got to play Last Guardian. That one hasn't come to fruition, but it was a tiny little press event, right? And there wasn't this huge thing about it, and they didn't make a giant deal about it. And this time they're going huge. They're saying, we're going to put it in New York. We're going to make it live stream. We're going to show it to everyone. We're going to have it in the Hammerstein Ballroom. We're going to invite, 1,200 people, like journalists, to come out and see this thing and do all this cool stuff. Something's happening, ladies and gentlemen. You better get excited.
Let's lay out everybody's afternoon for them.
Sure.
For the next 55 minutes, leading up until 3 p.m. Pacific, Greg and I are going to be running down what we expect to be announced at the show. We're going to be talking to some IGN fans. Is this correct?
That's correct, Damon. We have an IGN community here, bustling with good opinions, good bloggers. We're going to be talking to them here on the Skype, talk to them, see what they expect from the show.
There may be also someone else, a special guest?
We have,
a special PlayStation guest?
When we said we wanted to do this stream, ladies and gentlemen, I said I wanted to make it like leading into the Super Bowl, right? And so you have those special commentators, these old athletes who come out. They got concussed too many times, but they're here to talk about it. We have one of our own concussed guests, David Jaffe, creator of God of War, more importantly, Calling All Cars. Yes, and also Twisted Metal, if you ever heard of that thing. He is going to be IGN's special guest commentator today. Talk to us in the pre-show about what it's like, post-show. What did he think of it? I bet he won't like it. He's a curmudgeon, but I love him.
So lots to talk about leading up to the show. And then at 3 o'clock, the event starts. And we have our boy, Colin Moriarty.
Our boy.
On the floor at the event. I think he's waiting in line right now.
We got Colin Moriarty.
Let's see if he's tweeted an update here.
We got Colin Moriarty. We got Keza McDonald from the UK. We got Scott Lowe, the tech tower out there. Then 2 IGN video people right now in line at New York City. If you're watching us on IGN.com, if you're watching on the page right below it, the Twitter feed, you see all the things that Colin's tweeting right from the line.
Scott Lowe has posted a Vine of what the line is like. So
don't watch out. Keep watching this.
Well, I'm just saying. It only takes 6 seconds, Greg.
David, there's so much information on IGN about PlayStation right now. It's an exciting time.
So the event is supposed to kick off at 3 o'clock, providing everything runs on schedule. And then we don't know exactly how long it will last. I would guess about an hour.
Yeah,
right?
You'd think so, right? About an hour, and then we kick back up.
Yeah.
Post-show for another hour.
They're going to be talking about all things PlayStation. I imagine they'll mention the Vita. Yes. I imagine they'll talk about the PlayStation 3.
I hope they talk about that Vita.
I think they'll talk about the PlayStation 3 a little bit. And I think towards the latter half, they'll talk about the next PlayStation. Because you want the future.
For me, it's going to go. PlayStation 3 still has life left in it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that God of War is coming out. The Last of Us. And then, hey, how about that Beyond Two Souls? Not sequel to Heavy Rain, but the next game from David Cage, Quantic Dream, the creators of Heavy Rain. How about a trailer for that? And finally a release date, so we actually know about it. And then, go into the Vita.
Yeah, so as soon as the conference ends, our post-show coverage begins, and we'll be like talking about everything that was announced.
Yeah.
We'll be bringing on some experts to talk with us too. Hopefully we can get Colin Moriarty on the line.
Yeah, we have the phone all set.
Give us some info from the show floor. And then
What's that?
I think we might want to check in with David Jaffe too again.
Yeah, we'll see what he's all up to. But ladies and gentlemen, the biggest part of the show, it's you. We need you to be part of the show. Please tweet at IGN, hashtag PlayStation 2013. Watch for that to change if they actually say PlayStation 4 or anything, but don't get too excited. You do that, you leave comments in the article. What can you win, Damon?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because one of our fans mentioned that he's currently watching the stream on his Roku.
Oh.
I don't know what a Roku is.
Yeah, you do.
No, that's not true. Yeah, it's like a digital streaming device. You can stream YouTube and Netflix.
It's like if you didn't want to buy a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And you wanted the box that does it.
Anyway, he's watching the stream through his Roku, and we have like 3 Rokus. I can't say Roku.
Roku. We're gonna say it a lot tonight, so don't worry about it.
We have 3 Rokus to give away.
Okay.
To these viewers right
you.
here.
And some commenters. You can win in a variety of ways. Now, am I going to Inception it? Is it going to autoplay if I do this? I'm opening it up here so we can see the Twitter feed. Okay, there you go. Now we can monitor what's happening. If we ever want to cut to it, there it is. Good stuff's happening. So much to talk about, Damon.
So to win the Roku, just to make sure it's clear, they just have to tweet at IGN with hashtag PlayStation 13. Any questions or comments you have about this big event, we'll share them with our viewers, and that automatically enters you to win a Roku.
Right.
Okay.
Deep breaths.
Now, Greg.
Yeah.
So much to talk about.
I know.
Where to begin? I made a list.
Oh, did you know? All right.
Let's go through some of our predictions, what we think Sony might be talking about here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Sony will announce their next console.
Wow, Damon. A bold prediction,
that's my
from
prediction.
IGN's Damon Hatfield. No, I think that's a slam dunk.
Now, there's an option. There is a chance they won't.
No, right? Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is that we don't know exactly what's happening, right? And here's what's interesting about it is, Sony has always been the king/queen.
I'm sorry, I just noticed how many people are reading this article right now.
I know,
it's
right?
kind of amazing.
We love you so much.
We love you. Thank you for
so
tuning
much.
in.
It's great. That's that's a lot of people. How you doing? No.
Anyway,
Sony, the king and queen of hardware leaks, right? They leaked the PSP Go on their own core show before E3.
In other news, do you remember the PSP Go?
I like the PSP Go.
You and I were in Tokyo covering TGS when you pre-ordered it off of Amazon.
Yeah,
I think.
I love that thing. It was great. Anyways.
Anyway.
We haven't seen any leaks of what the system looks like, which is interesting to think about. That's something I would expect to be one of the first things to leak. That here's the shell of it. Remember, when they were talking about doing PS3 Slims and stuff, we were getting freaking leaked videos from Taiwan when they were coming off the assembly line. People were seeing them right away. We haven't seen that yet, but we've seen this controller, you know what I mean? It's got the PlayStation Move Orbish thing on the top of it. It's got the touchpad in the center. You've got some stuff here about it. There it is.
This thing,
right
which
there.
you've probably seen pictures of it floating around here. This is supposedly the new controller.
Yeah.
Pretty radical redesign from the DualShock 3.
Sure, it still has that general shape, though.
Yeah.
It still has the general look. We need to make sure how we phrase this. It still looks in the general DualShock way, because I have a steak dinner with Jim Riley riding on this. So yes, it still looks very much like a DualShock. But we've seen it from the other angle, right, where the triggers seem to be more like Xbox triggers,
yes.
Which I know you're very excited about.
Yeah, they've changed the tops of the analog sticks to their concave.
Exactly, no longer convex,
yeah.
Concave. You like that too.
I remember these terms from elementary school.
We've argued a lot about it on GameScoop.
And then there's a touchpad.
Yes.
Not a touch screen.
Right.
We don't think, but a touchpad in the top of the controller here that we also think you can depress. It acts as a button that you can click into.
Right.
So it would act like the back of the Vita if the Vita was a click.
Sure. Which is exciting, I think. Because I think
you're excited about this.
Here's what I keep talking about when we talk about the PlayStation Vita. PlayStation Vita hasn't had.
Just want to see how it looks in your hands.
Oh sure. I'm a giant! Sony, stop everything! We talk about the PlayStation Vita, right? It hasn't been a runaway success, as the kids would say, right?
Sure.
It's done well.
But we've gone on the record many times, we like the system a lot.
System's great. I still think that there are a lot of good games for it, but there are not a lot of great games. There's not a lot of games where you go, oh my god.
I have to buy a Vita to play this game.
I was trying to think of any funny game to insult there. Mutant Blobs Attack! I gotta buy a Vita! No, that's not what's happening, right? Even Uncharted was good, but I said it was great, but it wasn't amazing. It wasn't, I have to own the system for that. But every time I talk to somebody on the record or off the record. I'm like, are you, at Sony, someone involved with the PlayStation brand, I say, are you guys worried about the Vita? Are you worried about how this thing's selling? And universally, and these are people that don't, they don't BS the Greg Miller. They don't tug on my chain and give me any lies there. They say, no, we're not. But they can't say why they're not. And if you look at here's how I keep comparing it, right? Is that if you didn't think the PlayStation 4 was being released in the fall, which we all think it is, right? And if you would look at the PlayStation 3 release calendar and go, after the summer, there's nothing. After Last of Us, there's nothing. Sony's screwed. And you look at the Vita release calendar.
There's Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well, sure. But even that's still middle of the year-ish.
It's just, that's September.
Yeah. And then if you looked at the Vita release schedule, you'd say the same thing. Oh man, there's nothing coming to the Vita. It's screwed. I think in the same way that we look at PlayStation 3 and go, well, of course there's nothing coming in the fall. That'll be PlayStation 4's time to shine. I think you're going to see today, at least knock on whatever material this is, Formica maybe, you're going to see that the Vita...
Never forget.
Never forget the beard. You'll see that the Vita ties into the PlayStation 4 in some way. And I think that's a big part of why there'd be a touchscreen like controller and why there'd be maybe the way to depress it or whatever is the fact that you're going to have games that are the ubiquitous experience, Colin Moriarty, no taxation on Twitter, that go back and forth, that you can play your Vita game on the go, you can take your PS3 game on the go, you can do whatever you want, you can get around that way.
Now, speaking of Colin Moriarty, he tweets, he says, I have to admit, I'm really excited about this.
Really? Colin's excited about a PlayStation event.
Shocking.
I don't believe it. This is my aim, by the way. I don't know if
I was noticing. I didn't know if you wanted to check in.
Well, yeah. See, you're the one who's supposed to run the name.
It's Ty Root.
No, it's somebody else. A PR person. I thought maybe Eric was trying to contact you to get questions.
Not our Ty?
No, it's not our Ty. Well, no, that's our Ty. We're getting off track. Big thing today with this PlayStation 4.
Yes.
I'm excited. What do you think? Do you think the Vita? Do you agree with my hypothesis?
I do.
Okay.
Both you and Colin have talked a lot about how you think Sony has a trick up its sleeve with the Vita.
It has
that has a plan for it with the. They have a plan. They're like Cylons, basically.
I mean, you look at Sony and you're like, you guys had to have learned something from the PSP, right? Like, there had to be some takeaway from the PSP because...
Well, I mean, there's a new PSP game coming out, like, around that. Like, the PSP was very successful in Japan.
Yeah.
People still play PSP in Japan.
Sure. What if they come out and say
you can't write the PSP off as a total
Sure, but the thing we always talk about, for America especially, right, is that it came out, the PlayStation Portable, had a great launch lineup, had these games that were really cool. Luminous. Come on, Luminous. Right. And then it kind of got into this drought, right, where there weren't that many games. And people were really quick to write off the Vita and say the same thing here, that the Vita came out with this great launch lineup. I mean, it had like 30 games, that the majority of which were really good, and then kind of, now there's 1 or 2 a month or something. There's a trickle of Vita games, but there's not this deluge. Mm-hmm. And you don't see a lot of like big third parties the way people expect coming out to support it. I think that it can't be the same situation. Sony has to have learned from that. Shuhei Yoshida has to have learned from that. He has to know that, all right, for the Vita to be successful, we need to have this taken care of down the line, and I think that's what we're going to see today, hopefully.
Colin tweets that he should be getting into the venue any moment now. The press conference is supposed to begin in 45 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if they're running a few minutes behind schedule.
Yeah, they'll get that announcer voice over there. Like, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to PlayStation 2030.
Let's get down to the question that's really
the brass tacks, as they say,
on everyone's minds. The lights dim in that theater. You think they show like a sizzle reel or a PlayStation still? Yeah. So I think the question that everyone wants to know: will that sizzle reel be set to dubstep?
I don't think there's any doubting, Damon, that it's set to dubstep.
I'm gonna go. I don't think it will.
Really? You think it's pop? The bubble for dubstep?
Yeah, I
is
think
pop.
that was 2012. Now it's trap music, Harlem Shake. We'll see that.
See now, but you understand that too. I guarantee if we were able, we'll be watching Twitter when this happens, ladies. And for the record, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you're watching us right now. Thank you so much. We will be, as soon as our hour ends, the stream starts. When that happens, Damon and I shut up.
We're not going to be interrupted.
Yeah, we will be totally quiet.
We're going to be watching it with you.
If you'd like some commentary, like I said, over on IGN.com, you click on the article, you watch the video up here, and then there's the Twitter feed here. We'll be commenting there, making little snide remarks and little kissy faces at each other. Cat emoticons.
You know what's really interesting about this event that is happening? Not even a month ago, Kaz Hirai, Sony CEO, said he...
Ridge Racer.
Yeah, he would not...
$599 US dollars.
He said he wasn't worried about going first with his announcement of the new console. It said they would let Microsoft make the first move. He said, quote, why go first when your competitors can look at your specifications and come up with something better? That was January 21st, not even a month ago.
Now... 2 things to take away from this. Number 1, let's teach everybody about a red herring, where you just say like, oh, don't worry, I'll never eat that last donut, and then I go and I eat the last donut, but then nobody blames me. They don't expect me to eat the donut, because it was a red herring. Somebody put that on Wikipedia. Anyway,
The definition of a red herring.
Greg Miller eats
when
donut.
you say you won't eat the donut, but you eat the donut.
But also, he's saying something very specific there. That why show your specs when somebody could go and copy them? I think, first and foremost today, PlayStation 4, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it looks like. This is what the controller looks like and how it touches and moves. Here are some really cool games. Here are some people who are partnering with us, some cool games. Out.
Yeah.
No release date. No, it's running on a GUI 85 graphics processor. Did I get that right, Charles? I don't know. It's running on this kind of processor speed, and this, that, and the other, and this is how much it'll cost, and these are the SKUs it's going to have.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a very top level, get you excited for this system, make you believe this thing is the greatest thing in the world, so that until E3, we're just talking about all the good things about the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And then at E3, you come out and you have to be like,
One of the bad things that.
how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
Like if you come out today, you can very easily knock the wind out of your own sails. If you come out today and you're like, it's this and it's awesome, and Nathan Drake's freaking crawling out the back and it makes bacon, and no one will think you ate the donut, Red Harry. But if you say all that and you show all this cool stuff, and then you go, and it costs $600, it's like the record skip, like in the Harry Potter video game.
I mean, that's what happened in 2006.
Yeah, $599 US dollars.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Tell me about that. What did you learn? You still wake up at night and go, oh, giant enemy crabs.
I was there in the E3 war room with IGN when they announced that, and it was like dead silence. Like people couldn't even respond. They couldn't believe it.
It was a bad conference.
Yeah.
And
no, it's an amazing conference. You can still watch it to this day on YouTube. It's
sure.
a great.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. But since then, Sony's gotten better. They've gotten funnier. They had Kevin Butler at one time before they sued him, and you know, they do interesting things.
So we talk about what we expect to see with this new console, with the controller. What about games? Will there be game announcements today?
Yes, there will be. I think we went back and forth on this on Podcast Beyond and PlayStation Conversations for a long time about it. But we keep talking about how Sony has this stable of first-party developers. It doesn't, right? Of these people who come out and make these exclusives for them that I think is, and obviously I've covered PlayStation primarily my whole career at IGN, but I still think it's the most impressive stable of exclusive developers there are right now, at least in console space. And so many of them, we don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So many of them have been off the grid. You don't hear about the people. MotorStorm RC was the last game put out, and great, it was free and it was fun. I know you're doing something, Evolution.
Well, they've been teasing that they're excited about something.
Exactly.
That they might have an announcement.
And that's the whole thing, is all of a sudden people started to talk a little bit more. You talk about the Killzone guys, right? They had been real quiet. They did a GDC presentation last year where they're like, we're doing a few things, we're doing different things, maybe a new IP, we're still continuing the Killzone franchise. Then Media Molecule, they've been working on Tearaway. The people who made Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet 2, if you remember, Damon, is their last AAA console release, and it came out the same month as Dead Space 2. So we just saw Dead Space 3. Yeah. No, right?
10? No, January.
Yeah, January.
10,
yeah. So they've had all that time to be working on something, and you have to imagine that you want your big guns coming out. That's what I keep talking about PlayStation 4, is that, and what we just talked about, Sony can't repeat the sins of the past. They have to learn from these things. They came out with the PlayStation 3. It was a very expensive device, and it was a launch lineup of titles you didn't really know. Nobody walked in going, man, well, Colin did, but nobody else was like, man, Resistance Fallen, man, I'm buying it for that. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't know what that is. So PlayStation 4 announcement, yes, you come out, and granted, say what you will about how popular these games are, you totally come out and you go, PlayStation 4 is coming out soon. Launch lineup is going to be Killzone 4. It's going to be MotorStorm, whatever it's going to be. Maybe even Wipeout if we hypothesize about the Wipeout franchise being picked up by the guys over at Evolution. It's going to be all these game titles that you know. You know what I mean? Like
Little Big Planet?
I wouldn't put it past them, right? Like we saw rumors. First off, we saw rumors about Media Molecule working on a new game that isn't Little Big Planet, and then we saw rumors about another developer picking up Little Big Planet 3. And so it would make sense that these games would be ready, and these games are there. And it's one of those things that when you go to the store to buy this PlayStation 4, you're not going to have Call of Duty whatever for PlayStation 4. You're going to go in there, you're going to buy the system, you're like, I want to play something when I get home. You'll be like, even if you don't play Killzone, you're going to be like, I know Killzone. I know Killzone scores well. It's got some fans. It's known for being a beautiful game, a fun game to play. I'll pick that up. Oh, and MotorStorm, well, there's no other racer right now. There's no, maybe there's a Gran Turismo. I wouldn't put it past them to mention Gran Turismo today and release it 6 years later. But, you want to put out these games that have that brand recognition, that people are going to go to there, buy this PlayStation, and pick it up. And I really think that's what it's got to be for Sony to succeed this time around.
will they show us more on games that we already know about that are coming, like Beyond Two Souls?
I think so. I think you see them really quickly. Maybe they'll show a trailer for God of War.
That's out next month.
I know, and that's why you don't want to spend time on it, right? You don't want to spend your
What about
wheels
like
on it.
so they won't tease God of War, like next gen God of War?
No, they won't do that. I think that
They don't want to take the wind out of the Ascension sales.
right. They want you to buy Ascension, and Ascension's already had such a bad rap, right? Of being, oh, that's that God of War multiplayer game. And it's like, no, there's a single player campaign, and it's got Kratos, and it's beautiful.
There's a really nice Cyclops lawyer in it. No, he's a school teacher.
Yeah. Go watch that IGN live stream to figure out what the hell we're talking about.
What was his name?
I forget too.
Anyway.
We digress. Yeah, I think that you don't show that. And I wouldn't put it past them. And this is what I keep talking about is that at the end of all this to show a quick and one more thing, and it's a teaser trailer for Uncharted 4. Because this is what the other thing we're talking about with what are they going to call it, right? Are they going to call it Orbis? Are they going to call it PlayStation? I say you have to call it PlayStation 4 because from just a marketing standpoint, and they just fired those people who were marketing for before, so hopefully the new people came in and were like, wait. Killzone 4, Uncharted 4. There was another one too. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of 4 games.
Little Big Planet 3.
Little Big Planet 3.5. But oh god, and you can say all these games, you can put all these big names behind it and show that. And we already know too. If you play Game Dev Story, you know how the business works. Yeah. Anything you put a number on, it sells better. That's how it works.
Yeah. What about Last of Us? Will we hear about Last of Us today?
Yeah, you have to, I think.
That's coming out very soon. Because like I said, I think they will spend some time talking about the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3 will continue to be successful for several years from now.
I agree. People are texting me from downstairs, so they totally want to distract me from this live stream.
Are they just messing with
Nick
us?
Scarpino, producer of Up at Noon, says that they have a close-up on Shuhei if we talk about Shuhei. So there he is! Shuhei Yoshida, ladies and gentlemen, president of Sony Worldwide Studios. I'd like to imagine him and Colin going out in the town last night in New York, but I don't know if it happened. Maybe they went out. They'll go out tonight.
Colin would have gotten some info from Shuhei.
No, Shuhei is a vault.
Yeah?
I've been out with that man before. I have drank grappa with him before. He ain't letting go of nothing. He's a pro. He's been around the block on this video game journalism business.
What were we talking about before we were so rudely interrupted?
Well, anyways, let's talk about
we're
other
going to
people
talk about
interrupting.
Last of Us.
Yeah, sure. Real quick, though. Remember, tweet at IGN, hashtag
correct.
PlayStation 2013. We want you to be part of the show. Eric's going to kick up his questions. Is he kicking me your phone? How are we doing this?
Yeah, they're coming here.
I'm just making sure. Ain't nothing, bro.
Anyway, Last of Us they will be showing.
Yes, I think, the last news on The Last of Us, right, was that it's delayed.
Also, Calvin the Cyclops.
Calvin the Cyclops. Yeah, Last of Us they have to, I think, because it's obviously there. I think it's. You can look at Beyond Two Souls, sure, but I think Last of Us is going to really be the swan song to the PlayStation 3, right? The really big, super polished, giant game that's going to send it off and be like this one thing that everybody wants to play, right? It's from Naughty Dog, the guys who did Uncharted, and it got delayed, which is totally uncharacteristic for Naughty Dog. They've never delayed a game before, and these are the guys who did all the just like a few weeks.
Oh, right. It's right after E3.
Yeah, exactly. The Friday after E3. Also the release of Man of Steel. So big day. Big day for Greg Miller.
Well, so now we know what we're doing that Thursday night of E3.
Yes, we are. We're going to go see Midnight Show, Man of Steel. But you figure you don't want that to be the lasting impression, right? This is PlayStation talking about PlayStation 2013, not PlayStation 4, what the brand is going to mean to people this year. And Last of Us is a huge part of that. And I also think that this is their chance with mainstream press being there, people being so excited to get these games out and connect those dots for people. There's plenty of people who own a PlayStation 3, don't play it all that much, but they've played the Uncharted games. Cool, oh yeah, I know Uncharted, those are a lot of fun. Now you get to say, these are the guys who made Uncharted. You know what I mean? In whatever mainstream press story gets written up tomorrow, PlayStation 4 was announced, blah, 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 but they also showed this thing called Last of Us, and it's from these guys who made this, and people start making those connections so that it's not so out of left field when it comes around.
Now we're getting reports from our people on the ground. They are being let inside.
Oh my, fire everything!
They're finally being let inside the venue with just about 35 minutes to go before the conference.
35 minutes to go. Oh, we're getting close. I think we should call Dave Jaffe at 2:30.
Okay. Yeah.
So before we do that, do you want to Skype with one of our bloggers here?
Yeah, let's check him out. This is an IGN blogger.
For the record, I don't think we ever tested this. So if it all goes to hell,
that was not really the IGN style.
What? Just to do everything? To jump right in?
Testing.
Oh, testing things. No, not at all. All right, we'll do Matt.
This is who are we calling now? Matt?
Oh, look, we can hear
Matt
really well,
Lucchetti.
Yeah, he is an IGN blogger like you all should be too. Oh, there you are.
I got to tip us forward here.
We can rotate it.
Yeah, tip it so you can.
Oh, Matt, you better.
Greg?
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm
use some headphones here.
No, you're fine. You sound great. You don't even need them if you can hear us.
I can hear you now. Fine, no headphones.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Matt's a man who lives by his own rules, Damon.
Matt, where are you Skyping us from?
Yeah.
Close to
The Redbirds.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Beyond.
Beyond. Funny story. I once got a minor in possession in Normal, Illinois.
Really?
Yeah, and my friend got a peeing in public.
I don't think it's called a peeing in public.
What? I don't know. We didn't go to court over it. We're adults.
If
Hey,
you're in public, I'll buy you a drink.
thank you. Yes, if I ever swing back, I'll let you know all about it. Matt, you blog for us here on the IGN. You're quite good at it. Thank you for that.
Thank you for the compliment.
He's the guy. He wrote the PlayStation update yesterday. He does the PlayStation Plus update every week.
That's a big help for us. That's great.
Yeah. Matt, what are you expecting out of today's show?
Oh, God, I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting to see the controller and the console. Of course, a Vita price drop a la Japan.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
you need to talk about
I'm
that.
sorry. Yeah.
Also, something I really want to see from them is I don't care about someone on stage actually playing the game, but I really want to see Killzone 4 because Guerrilla has been quiet for so long.
Uh-oh.
So I want to see at least a gameplay trailer for that because they have to show off what this console can do.
Right.
We should also point out this live stream is not sponsored by Budweiser.
Matt, we got a big live stream coming up. Put as many ads. Now it's sponsored by Lamp. Can we get a lamp in there?
Have we lost our audio?
Possibly. We're having fun. Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Well, no, those are all good things. And Matt makes
Yeah,
some
we
good
definitely need
points.
to talk more about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we're going to talk more about the Vita because you said so, Matt. We love you.
Bye, Matt.
That was fun.
He seems like a nice.
I didn't think about all these people now who are going to try. We're never going to answer your call. If you're really that excited to have your Skype name flash up, grow
Never.
up. Come on. But no.
So yeah, that's the other thing they'll talk about is the Vita.
Yeah, exactly. We've mentioned some of the Vita came up a few times. But you know, the interesting thing about it, of course, is that they just had the Vita event over in Japan this weekend. Real spur of the moment, real out of the blue, and it was like Nintendo Direct, where they were just speaking straight to the consumers, right? That we were putting out these games. And it was more like, here are updates on these games. But what was cool about it is that they dropped the price, you know, for the Vita itself.
What'd they drop it to?
In Japan. I knew you were going to ask that, and I blanked on it. Let's check. It's something. Oh, you tweet at us. Let us know. And then Eric will tell you. We can keep going. You don't have to do our own work. It was something. It's all in the yen. That's what confuses Greg Miller. That's no help. But they dropped it, which was exciting. So, and what they did is that they made it, you know, that the 3G Wi-Fi model is the same price as the Wi-Fi model. One thing, holy God, we didn't think through the Skype thing. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Anyways, they dropped it, ladies and gentlemen. And they got out of the way a whole bunch of games that don't matter to the Western world so much, right? And put them down. Put down the pitchforks, put down the torches. I know everybody cares about Final Fantasy X, but I'm talking about the Gundam game, right? You know, if you like that, you are the niche. You're the small audience that was really super excited about that. Not everyone totally into that. So they get that out of the way so that today they can come out and talk about the PlayStation Vita and make a big deal about certain things. Make a big deal about the games that are coming to the U.S. that people are excited about. The PlayStation 4 interface. It wasn't working before?
Nope.
We didn't hear. What happened when Matt went up?
Poor Matt. We heard you guys. We didn't hear Matt.
Oh, Matt made a bunch of good things about the PlayStation 4. Oops. Sorry, Matt. But did we see him at all ever?
Now we're working.
Okay.
We didn't see him, but we'll see him next time.
We will.
All right. Well, we're not calling you again, Matt, but I don't blame you. I'm glad we did that instead of when we have to call David Jeffrey.
So we have our first photo from inside the event here from Colin Moriarty.
I have it up on the second screen over here.
He's our PlayStation editor who's on the scene in New York. This
Yeah.
is what it looks like in the video. Actually looks a lot like our studio.
Are we there? The curtain comes up. We're in front of everybody. Yeah, we're getting to go time. And that's the classic PlayStation look, right? I actually went back today, and or last night, I was getting all sentimental, Damon, going through answering emails about this event. This happens to be coinciding with my 6th anniversary at IGN. I've been on the PlayStation team the entire time, and pretty much I started, I'm sure you remember, of course, but I started on a Thursday/Friday. Legally, I couldn't work on that Thursday, but I came in and met people. And then that Monday was GDC. And the first thing I did was go to a Sony press conference during GDC in which they announced Little Big Planet. It was the famous Phil Harrison came out and talked about Gaming 2.0. He had SingStar, he had Little Big Planet to show, all this really cool stuff. And what was exciting about it is that it looked just like this. It had the PlayStation logo. I was looking at it last night and I'm like, that is the coolest. I remember that.
I mean, this must be a very exciting day for you.
Yeah.
You and I have been covering the video game industry about the same time.
Yeah.
I have maybe 9 months on you.
Sure.
But my time covering the industry has been very broad.
Right.
Like covering like all aspects of it. You've been very laser focused on PlayStation.
I have, yeah.
pretty much
This
the
has been my
time.
entire career. I was tweeting about it last night. Game over, Greggy. Give me a follow. I really feel like my career's been building to this. And it sounds weird, I'm sure, but you know, I've never been at IGN for a full-fledged console launch. Vita was fun, but it wasn't the same thing, right? And here we are now, and I run the PlayStation channel, the team or whatever, and I feel like I can sit here and talk to you for as long as we wanted to make this live stream about first parties and what Sony's doing and what they need to do and what I'm predicting and how I think they win. And in the past, you wouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean? So here we are, Greg Miller. Not cancer-free, looking good, talking about PlayStation. So yeah, we're gonna Skype now to David Jaffe. Before, in the control room, we've learned now that people will incessantly phone call people.
I didn't know how you want to handle that now.
Don't show the screen. I'm gonna try to figure it out where I can do it and hide information.
Okay, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah. Don't show. Don't move that, Damon. Well, now you gotta fill it. You talk.
I know.
How you been doing?
I've been doing really well, Greg. I'm very excited. I'm going to take a field a question from Twitter here. We are getting some questions in. Remember, you can just tweet us at IGN. Use the hashtag PlayStation2013. That automatically enters you to win a Roku.
Ooh.
I think we'll give away one before the conference starts, and then save the other two for after the conference.
Cool.
That's what we'll do.
All right.
Anyway, one of our viewers, Point Blank, asks, do you think Sony will mention a release time frame, but not a specific date? Well, definitely not a specific date, I don't think. And feel free to weigh in on this, Greg. But I think, like you said, they will be mentioning, they'll be saying that they've had the PlayStation 4 coming. They'll give us some vague details on it, but they'll save the hardcore details, probably for E3. Price and launch date, launch window. Rumors that we're hearing say it's supposed to arrive in November in the U.S. Are we showing anything else? Or?
No, we're not showing anything yet. Don't show anything.
We're hearing it's supposed to arrive in November in the U.S. and maybe not until 2014 in Europe.
Yeah.
But those are just rumors for now. I would not expect them to announce release windows or dates today.
No, not at all. I mean, like we were just talking about at the very beginning of the show, right? They have nothing to gain by that. By coming out and saying when they're releasing that's what I think Kaz is more worried about, right? That Microsoft can come out and undercut them and be like, nah, we're going to release before that. We're going to do this here before that. And so then you get into this bidding war, and then that same thing with price, right? That you have to figure out how to lock this stuff in. And granted, console manufacturing, it's not easy. I doubt anybody could be like, they're releasing October 14th, push our console up 2 months. You wouldn't have the right product or something like that. But it is this interesting little arms race right now between what's going to happen. The rumors we hear about the next Xbox, right, is that, probably going to hear something before GDC, which comes at the end or middle-ish of March, late half of March.
No, it's at the end of March.
Yeah.
Right after PAX, I believe.
Right after PAX. That's a fun weekend around.
We'll be at PAX.
I tell you what.
If you're going to be at PAX, we'll be hanging out. All
right, David Jaffe hasn't accepted this. I'm going to have to go on. I'm going to go on Twitter here. Everybody berate at David Scott Jaffe right now. Let's see if I got him on the old direct messages. What he's saying. But exciting stuff for there. What now, Damon? What's your excitement level? Like you didn't hate PlayStation, but you didn't connect with the PlayStation 3 ever. You basically did what I think a lot of people live. Like I'm the outlier, right? That I cover PlayStation for a living, so I made sure PlayStation's my dominant system. So I knew what was happening in that ecosystem, and then I only played exclusives on Xbox. But you kind of flip-flop, where Xbox is your everything pretty much, and you only play PlayStation for the Uncharted here and there.
Yeah, I got an Xbox 360 shortly after coming to IGN, mainly because everybody was playing multiplayer games on Xbox, and so I just sort of got to know that system, and it's been my primary system, this generation. But I'm totally excited about PlayStation 4. I'm a lifelong video gamer. I get excited about any new console announcement. The possibilities that brings with it. I want to see what it's all about. What games it's going to have, what new technologies, what new ways to play games it provides us. All that is just super exciting. There's nothing more exciting to us, people who love video games, than new consoles. I don't think. Maybe a new game that you love. But.
Sure, but there's something. I mean, like I think
it's like. If I may, just like I said,
you just take over the whole stream. I won't say anything.
A new console, like a new game, is just one game. A new console provides the opportunities for countless new games that you will love and enjoy.
Exactly, and I think we all feel that. You talk to people on Twitter today, right? People are taking off work. They're super excited. Like people are asking too, is it okay to be this into this? This doesn't make sense. Like I'm a grown man. I kept seeing that. Like I'm a lawyer and I have 3 kids, but I'm taking the day off to watch this PlayStation stream. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. That's what gaming's all about, is being excited about something.
Yeah. We have a nice panorama of the stage photo posted by Scott Lowe here.
Let me get this back up and running.
It's very, very blue in the theater there.
Do you think they're playing "I'm blue, I would die if I
Yes, I think they're playing Eiffel 65.
And then Shuhei Yoshida comes out just dancing, I'm blue, and they're like, it's over. The PlayStation is over, everybody. We
had a good run.
We tried hard. Yeah. David Scott Jaffe running a bit behind.
Okay.
He's hoping to make pre-show. He'll be here for post for sure. We'll check back in a little bit. Do you want to? We're still getting crazy calls here from everybody because we gave away our address here because we're foolish. I don't use Skype often, but we can Skype in with somebody else if you want. See what they're saying. I got one here from. Is he online? No, he's not online. Well, you screwed up good. Do not disturb. What are you talking about, Abdul? Yeah, jeez.
We're calling somebody another IGN blogger.
No, this is also he writes for IGN Middle East.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
This is very exciting.
But we'll see. He's offline right now, so he screwed the pooch on that one, as they say.
Let's talk about another rumor that we've been hearing a lot about the next PlayStation.
Okay.
We know that Sony bought Gaikai.
Yes. We haven't talked about this yet. I can't even believe it.
So we think cloud gaming will be a big part of the new console.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the huge part. Here's what I keep talking about the PlayStation 4 event, is that what I'm excited about isn't so much seeing the controller or the console, but listening to them sell us on it. Why do we need this? I still don't understand what we need from this thing. I love my PlayStation 3.
Yeah, we all love the consoles that we have now.
Yeah.
We're still getting lots of great games, but we've been hearing from the industry that this console generation has dragged on too long. It's been harmful to the industry, so there seems to be this dichotomy between people in the industry thinking we need new consoles and then but gamers being pretty happy with what we have.
Exactly, and so that's the big thing. What are they going to come out with and say, hey everybody, we're PlayStation, this new device is going to cost hundreds of dollars, but this is why you need it. This is why you need to pre-order it. This is why you need to be excited about it. Because graphics, I don't think work alone anymore, right? Like, I mean, they're going to be exciting. It's going to look great, but it's not going to be like, look at how awesome a new Batman game looks, and we're like, ugh. It's like, graphics are cool, sure. I want more. Whoa.
Here we go. Very loud.
It's not even him. It's all these idiots ruining it for us. Jerks. Stop calling! Oh, my Lord. Hey, Abdul.
Hey.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks. How about you guys?
I'm good. What do you want to see today at the conference?
Yeah, so today, I think the main thing I want to see is that the connection between the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 4. So I want to see how Sony is going to sort of convince people that you need to have the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 4 together for them to be complementary to each other, rather than they could go out and say, this is a great device with the PlayStation Vita and this is a great device with the PlayStation 4, but together they can be a lot more than them alone. So I think that's the main thing I want to see out of this conference, like them being like together.
No, those are good points, and that's what we were talking about earlier, right? I think that's why people are. I'm hanging up now. I'm trying to get rid of all these declines. Oh my Lord. We'll mute that while that happens. Yeah, well, I know. I can't. You want to come over and do it while we do it? Because I don't want to be like all hunched over screaming my Skype thing.
So yeah, we have to hear about how the Vita communicates with the PS4.
Good move or bad move? You think to bundle them together? Let's say that. Do you like the idea?
It would be good for us. For gamers, consumers, like I can't think of a home console that was bundled with a handheld before, except for the Neo Geo X. But
no, nobody's excited about Neo Geo X. No, yeah, it's one of those things where I don't think they're going to come out and be able to hit the price point you want. There's going to be that barrier to entry no matter what of how much the PlayStation 4 costs, right? So you don't want to have it come out and be like, it's going to be X hundreds of dollars. There's 2 SKUs. One has 500 gigabytes, one has a terabyte, and then on top of all that, there's a super premium deluxe model that's like, what, $700, $600, comes with a Vita and this and that, PlayStation Plus thrown in there, a cow, all the stuff. You buy it for that? That's the Kansas in you. Always ready to buy some livestock, am I right?
So, Gaikai, cloud gaming.
Back to what we were talking about. Yeah,
probably a big part of it. We're also hearing a lot about spectating. That's sort of just built into the console, where at any time, presumably if the users have enabled it in their settings, you can watch what your friends are playing, even if they're not playing the game.
Yeah.
I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense, because like the Let's Play video is one of the big changes of this generation of gaming, right? It came up during this generation of gaming, and now people are totally used to just watching strangers play games online on YouTube and stuff. Building that into your console makes so much sense.
Here's something that I want to talk about. I've been burned before.
On?
Sony. Where I'm like, they have this great product, if they just do this simple thing, they will succeed. And then they come out and they show the PlayStation Move. And you're like, no.
Oh, well, so we're also, PlayStation Move is also supposed to be built into the
controller, which
yeah.
is fine. If it's somewhere in here and it's not another accessory, peripheral you have to go buy, whatever. I don't care if they keep making Wonderbook games. Wonderbook games are great for kids. Maybe it works out where I foolishly knock someone up and I have to entertain this rugrat in my house now, and I already have the PlayStation 4. I'm already ready to do it. There it is, fine, it's there. You know, Colin Campbell, IGN features writer, he brought Wonderbook home to his kids. They all played it. They loved it. It's like awesome. I'm glad there's a market for that. But Sony made the move thinking, or at least when they pitched it, right, they were chasing the Wii. They were totally chasing, hey, if grandmothers and everyone else are so into this, they're totally going to be ready to go out and buy our really complicated cross-media bar to use and figure out how to get in and play Sports Champions and how to play Sorcery. And it's like, no, nobody wanted to go through that many hoops to get to it. So if it's as simple as being built into the controller, great.
Yeah.
I forgot what we started on.
Spectating.
Spectating.
You were worried about being burned.
Exactly. Because when I always go back to, I think the moment PlayStation 3 was like pretty much like we're never going to catch up or surpass Xbox in terms
Well,
of
they're pretty close right now.
units,
if not.
but no. But again, now we're talking about something different. I'm talking about in mind share. We're going to go back to being the PlayStation 2 PlayStation.
House of Cards. Done.
Is that a PS Vita? No, but it's one of those moves. In the alternate universe, you go back to the GDC where they came out and debuted PlayStation Move. And then they come out and they don't debut PlayStation Move.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
They come out and they say, we're really happy Nintendo's been so successful with the casual market. We wish Xbox the best of luck with Kinect. We are PlayStation, and we're about games. We're not going to chase this casual market. We'll have Netflix. We're going to have Amazon, Hulu, whatever. We'll have all that stuff for you one day. But we are about games. Let's look at them right now. And you go through and you show Uncharted. You show whatever everybody else, Infamous, whatever everybody else is working on. And you don't waste so much time talking about the PlayStation Move, which nobody cares about. They didn't do that, though. They came out, they talked about PlayStation Move, and they were kind of like, we're going to chase this casual market that we have no chance of getting. There are printer settings on the PlayStation 3. If you put printer settings on a video game console, you are never going to sell it to a grandmother in a nursing home. It doesn't matter. The whole system didn't make any sense on how it was set
The
up.
fact that there are printer settings on the PS3 is one of my favorite things.
6 years, I've never printed anything off my PlayStation
Who has
3,
that?
nor have I been able to connect it to the IGN printers.
If you have ever printed something from your PlayStation 3, tweet us at IGN and let us know.
And don't BS, we'll know.
Yeah.
We won't really.
We're going to look at your printer history from your PS3.
So in a perfect world, Damon, in a perfect world, they come out today and they say that. We're a PlayStation and we're about games. We're here to show you we're the system for gamers.
I feel like the landscape has changed, and that wouldn't be a smart move, a business move for them.
And see, I go the opposite
Then
way.
USA today takes that story and says now Sony is just a video game console for kids now. It's not an all.
Well, you show adult experiences, but I understand what you're saying. But now I'll take.
A parent wants to know that they're getting a really good value in a video game console that can be fun for every member of their family, and that you can do more than play just games on it.
But I'm with you, and I think that we're on the same playing field in a way here. They come out and they say,
I've never been on the same playing field.
We just destroyed the new studio. They come out and they say that, yeah, this new PlayStation 4, it streams Netflix. Of course. It does Amazon, of course. Music Unlimited, we know you don't care, but we're going to keep pushing this thing for some reason. They keep talking about all the things it does. Yeah, it's going to totally be, we put PlayStation Move in there so you can have Wonderbook experiences, so you don't have to buy any extra controllers, so you can do all that stuff. They show some kind of Mario Paint-like thing. Imagine an Okami, right, where you could play on the screen here and not have to be waving your arms or what, you know what I mean? You can do so much cool stuff with the touchpad and not do our main complaint with the Vita where you have to cover up the screen with your thumbs. They show all that, but then they say, but we're the console about games. And the reason I think you make the gamble on games is that you have a chance at winning that. If they come out and they take the same thing they've been doing and they make this gamble of, oh, hey, everybody, they roll the dice, we're an entertainment machine. We want to be the... That's
Xbox.
Exactly.
I feel like they've already won that. So
exactly,
right.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You don't win that again. And we keep talking about how this is the last generation for consoles. We all talk about this unified future, right? That PlayStation will be publishing games, or one of the big three, or Apple's going to be making a device.
The Apple TV is where I predict we'll be playing our games.
Exactly. So that's coming, and I think as you see that go, we keep talking about how games are bigger than ever, right? Everybody's playing something on their iPhone. Everybody's doing something. My mom has a Wii. All these things. But I think there's the hardcore gamers who supports PlayStation, and the hardcore gamer isn't going to go anywhere. It's a small audience, I know that, and it's narrow, and you have to set your profit margins realistically for that, of what's going to happen. But if you bank on them, if you bank on us, the people who love awesome games, I think you win. If you come out and do this whole, We're going to pander to USA Today and talk about the fact that, yes, and we have a new written statement from J.K. Rowling about our new Wonder Book. No, nobody cares, and you get totally eviscerated for us. It's a weird thing, Damon, right? Where we talk about it at IGN, like, we hate the flame wars, and we hate it when a comment thread on whatever we're talking about, PlayStation, turns into Xbox sucks, or it turns into PlayStation sucks, or all these other things. At some point, when PlayStation 2, came off its high horse of being super cocky, and the PlayStation 3 kind of knocked the brand down, it shrunk the fan base of the PlayStation, I think, down to this really hardcore following of people who, I always talk about this on IGN, right, where Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, was one of our #1 games for the longest time. Dust 514 in the top 5 games. And they were beating like Tomb Raider and all these multi-platform games that are, you're going to sell better than these PlayStation exclusives. But the PlayStation fan base is so into everything PlayStation that they were ready to consume anything about it. And so I think when they fell down and we lost the riffraffs, the people, just hanger-oners who were just playing Grand Theft Auto, you solidified this base of really core gamers who just really dig PlayStation and what they do best. And what they do best is games. So today they have to come out and say, we are PlayStation, we're about games, we'll have all those experiences. If you have a child, totally. You're not going to buy your child this $500 machine to play the next edition of Walking with Dinosaurs or whatever. I'm off my soapbox. Again, Shuhei, are you listening, young man?
Colin Moriarty's going to set the scene for us. Colin's our boy.
Oh, there he is.
On the scene.
Yeah.
So he says, lots of chatter, but surprisingly subdued. Light music playing, journalists and critics taking their seats. Important Sony execs and others, much better dressed than us, are being shepherded up front. They get the front row seat. Median's finale, the PlayStation All-Stars theme song, is playing over the speakers. Lady over the loudspeaker says the event starts in 15 minutes.
Ooh.
That's what's going on inside the theater right now, where PlayStation is just about ready to show us the future of the PlayStation business.
I like Justin Davis. There are more people reading IGN right now than I've ever seen since I got hired 20 months ago, including E3.
Yeah, the amount of people in this article watching this live stream right now is kind of amazing. Once again, we have to thank you for joining us for this.
We'll try to be better. Stop Skype calling us.
This is a big event for us, and we know it's exciting for you too. So we're really happy that we can all come together and enjoy this very exciting PlayStation event. I also like that they've recreated our guys in the theater. So Scott Lowe, Colin Moriarty, and Keza have recreated the reaction guys photo.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great.
The old pair, Cass Messina, Craig Harrison, that one other guy who I never knew.
The other guy in the reaction thing that we never knew. All right, David Jaffe is ready.
Okay.
So now I believe. Well, Sean Rivers now talking. No, Sean.
So you just have to open up. You just have to open up Skype.
Yeah, I think they muted the thing. So don't even try to ruin it for us now, kids, because it won't work.
Yeah.
It won't. Don't try. All right. Be nice to us. Hold on. Don't cut to the screen yet of Skype, too, ladies and gentlemen, in the control room. Damon, do a little shuffle. Show them what's up.
I don't know. We have one comment from
shuffle at all.
Surge GDL says, "I've had my PS3 for 4 years." And that's all he says. But
hey guys,
thanks for sharing.
I've had it forever.
Thanks for sharing.
All right, now I'm gonna unmute it and see, make sure we don't hear any craziness.
So
don't show it yet.
Technologic. Actually, I like this question. Can we give him the Roku?
Ask Eric. Yeah, sure. We're giving him the Roku. Wait a second. This is our live stream.
Technologic, you just won yourself a Roku. I like your question. Would you guys ever use the share button if that were to be true on the controller? Yes, I think that's also a very exciting rumor that we've heard about the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it's one of those things that not knowing anything about how it works, for us as game critics and game talkers of games, put that on a business card.
Game talker of games.
We're the game talkers of games.
Video is a big part of our lives, what we do, right? Like sharing video of games, us talking about games and commenting on them. If you just at the click of a button, you can share the past 15 minutes of what you've been playing on your PS4 to other fans out there. That'd be awesome.
Now, I'm sure, of course, Fran Mirabella would have some kind of giant, this doesn't fit our thing up here. Oh, hold on. Now, don't show the screen yet, anybody. Nobody showing. There we go.
There we go. I recognize this guy.
Hi, David Scott Jaffe.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I apologize for being late.
Well,
no, it's okay.
We've talked a lot of trash about you all day, so it's too late.
So what's new?
All right. Well, I'm sorry too. I've shown your Skype name, so you're gonna get bombarded with Skype calls just like we are.
That's fine. I barely turn it on. So
oh, good.
Why isn't Jaffe responding? It's not because I'm rude. I turn it on for these sorts of things.
Sure.
All right, David Scott Jaffe. Question first and foremost. We're about, oh my gosh, 8 minutes from this thing launching. I'm sure it'll be later than usual. You've been backstage at these kind of things. What is it like?
It's really exciting. I mean, it's, you know, if you're backstage, it means you have something to show. You have a reason to be there, right? So, like, I'm not, you know, I have nothing to do with the launch event, the launch window, anything like that. And so I wasn't there for PS3 launch, but if you're there, it means your launch window, you've got a game, you've worked on the hardware. And so it's great because it's kind of like you get to actually stand in front of the world and, you know, it's like showing pictures of your kids. It's what you've been working on and you've been passionate about for probably well over a year, if not multiple. And it's great, especially if it goes well, of course. So it's exciting. And, you know, you get to see people from the organization, or you get to see people who are sort of like, I remember at the E3 a couple years back, that was the first time I ever met Gabe from Valve, you know, and I had never met him before, and he was back there to do an announcement. And so you get to kind of rub shoulders and meet a lot of times like your heroes and people you look up to that you wouldn't normally see out and about. So it's really, really fun.
Are there a lot of nerves? Like, I mean, are you
getting some incoming call probably from one of your I've never heard of this guy.
Yes, no, we just got a call from legalized gay marriage, so yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm turning that off. So so I'm sorry, what's up?
Nerves. When you're backstage, how nerve-wracking is it to know you're about to go out there? Because obviously you did it for Twisted Metal a couple years ago.
It's not nerve-wracking at all for me because I you know, when you're standing in front of, you know, people and talking about something you love, it's a joy. It's a privilege that you get to do it. So for me, it's you get a little nervous, but I always like to practice, and you're talking about what you love doing and the game that you and the team have created. So I'm really fucking distracted right now, though, because I'm getting all these people sending in.
I know, I told you, I warned you, but we...
shouldn't have even said it.
Oh yeah, nobody would have figured it out, Jeffy. Get the hell out of here.
Send me some fucking Oreos, that's all I have to say.
We do have some Oreos for you. Let's check in with Jeffy after the conference.
Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts afterwards, okay?
Yeah, we'll talk then.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, David.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Nice guy.
He's a great guy. I like
I don't
David
believe
Jeffy
any of
a
the
lot.
things they say about him.
No?
No.
You should. Anyways, that was great. It's funny that he's not nervous about it. I didn't get a chance to ask him about him lying about Twisted Metal. Saying Twisted Metal wanted to be there that one year, and then it was.
Oh.
He's king of the lie about these things.
Yeah.
I can't believe how close we are, Damon. 6 minutes.
6 minutes till the
Holy
official
cow.
start time. It could be a little bit
Sure,
later
I'm sure it will
than
be.
that.
I'm looking here more into what we got going in the
we're getting
feed.
very close
They're all just retweeting each other now.
to the big event now.
Colin says 10 minutes or less. Almost calling Colin Minutes. That'd be an interesting name for him. I'm excited, Damon.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what comes together here, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta slide over here. You can just say it. You don't have to worry about it. IGN.
So we talked about how you think it would be at least wise for them to keep the name PlayStation 4.
Right.
Here's another rumor that we've heard about. PlayStation Network no longer free. Going to a paid service.
But what if, I mean, it's one of those things, gosh, have we talked about this yet?
No, you and
Somebody
I have
called me on that I say it's one of those things all the time, and now whenever I say it, I can't stop myself yet. It's kind of like I'm eating that donut, red herring. But anyways, it's one of those things. We don't know anything about it. Hopefully, right, it's just PlayStation Plus getting things added to it. It's always been such a leg up for the PlayStation Network that, hey, you can come to us and you can use the PlayStation Network. Xbox Live is charging for the same stuff we're giving you for free. Yeah. And so I don't really see them wanting to give that away. And even if they are giving that away, if they're giving up that ground, I don't see them talking about it today.
Because that's part of like the bad news. You'd want to save till closer to launch after you've built up a lot of momentum.
Right. If they come out and they're like, you know what, we're changing the way we do online. We're roping it into PlayStation Plus. You can still get online and play multiplayer games for free. However, if you want this, that, and the other, and of course the instant game collection, that's what you need to be paying for. That's what we're doing with PlayStation Plus and calling it. It's PlayStation World. Is that what I've heard kicked around in the rumors?
Yeah, I think that sounds all right.
Yeah. But I don't know. It sounds foolish. But again, PlayStation move at GDC. This company, they make the foolish decision every now and again. iPet. What are you doing?
We've heard 2 SKUs.
Yes.
When it's finally officially released, which is what they did last time.
Totally makes sense. And remember do you remember how bonkers that was the first time there was, we're going to do 2 SKUs of something, and everybody's like, that's too confusing. No one will understand it. And then ever since then, it's been everything's 2 SKUs.
More than 2 SKUs.
Yeah, well, yeah, PlayStation keeps hemorrhaging them out. Different things. You don't know what, the Uncharted collection's got certain gigabytes.
Yeah.
Other one's got a cat in it.
$429 and $529 are the rumored price points.
Yeah.
The $529 one is still pretty, not far from $600.
What I was predicting, right, was I wanted $399 and then $499. And so this is in that ballpark, but I mean, I guess when you're talking millions of units, the $29 matters. But I'd much rather see them eat that and bring it down and get it down to a nice round figure. $429, it's $529. Those are weird numbers. That doesn't roll off the tongue. You don't want that. You want $599. You want ready to go.
One of our producers is reaching out to us.
On your
Maybe
Mac.
some important information.
Sure.
There's some important information coming in from our producers.
Hey, everybody, don't worry.
here.
Everything's fine.
We are only minutes away now from the big event,
Working well.
the PlayStation 13 event, where all signs point to the PlayStation 4 being revealed.
Thank you.
Remember
I
to
hear you,
stay-
Dave Toole.
Remember to stay tuned to us after the presentation. We'll have extensive post-show coverage. We'll be checking in with David Jaffe again. We have 2 more Rokus to give away. Lots of stuff to talk about. There's gonna be
So much
to
stuff
talk
going
about.
on, Damon. We're doing some housekeeping here to make sure that you guys get the live stream, because that's kind of important for you. I'm aware, everybody. Full screen. See me clicking on it? Nothing's happening. You can all go to hell. Every one of you.
Keza wants to know if Game Over Greggy has done any more monocled Cockney accent impressions of me yet.
I gladly will. Pop, it's me, Casey McDonald. I got in late on a plane.
Keza is one of our editors in the
I flew it across. What? Oh, okay. Everybody's yelling at me about Mac stuff. I wanted a Mac. You know what Fran Mirabella said? Here's a cheap-ass PC.
We're setting up the stream for the event, which is supposed to start in 2 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
Provided they're not a few minutes late.
Oh, my Lord.
We're just getting it all set up for you guys here.
I'm saying I'm old.
We've come down to
Oh,
it,
I
Craig.
see.
When did they announce that this event was happening? Like February 1st or something? Like 20 days ago, something like that? Yes, damn it, I believe
I'm working on it. There we go. Yeah, it was announced like a bunch of jerks when we were actually over there. Well, I was at a Sony event.
Oh, yeah.
And I was having fun, playing Last of Us. All right, seriously, now you just take them on it. Now I'm mad. Playing this. There we go. Is that fine? You like it? I'm not touching the mouse. That's just the ad again. Let's hope it freaking gets to where it needs to be. I tell you.
So
These
when we
IGN
see-
video guys, good people.
So
They're
when
really
this
good
monitor
people.
goes to the conference, it's starting? Is
Yes,
that
I
what-
think
is
so,
that
yeah.
what we're-
I mean, we can't hear it. I hope that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I hope somebody back there's paying attention to it.
All right.
Seems like an Andrew Goldfarb question. Oh, my Lord.
We're down to it, Greg.
I know.
Are you ready to...
I'm ready to see the future of PlayStation.
Are you ready to see what your job's going to be like for the next year?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for being the only one. There you go. Is it out of the frame now? Like I'll replace it with Shuhei Yoshida, and everybody's happy. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now, is this what you're talking about? This isn't dubstep. This is the Nick Elroy Shuffle. What's it called?
No, this is not.
Harlem Shuffle. That's what it's called.
Harlem Shake.
Harlem Shake.
Harlem Shake, yeah.
Charlemagne. Doesn't get talked about enough.
That's true. Any moment now, the conference is going to start. Here's a trailer for something.
Apparently. This is what I was talking about. I hope it's not just ads. IGN.com. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, once the show starts, which it's about to, oh my gosh, we're going to stop. We'll be back with an hour of live stream after this.
See you guys in an hour.
Stop.
giant worm. Jerry's a chicken.
Mustache Man, your worst nightmare has arrived. One of these! Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Andrew House.
Good afternoon, and to those of you joining us from around the world, good morning, good evening, and welcome. It's a thrill to be with you here today. The stakes are high for what we're going to show you. Today marks a moment of truth and a bold step forward for PlayStation as a company, as creators and innovators, and as industry leaders. At Sony, we've always talked about our entire portfolio of technology and content, blockbuster titles, and successful entertainment franchises. Today, we'll show you how we're strengthening the PlayStation ecosystem through hardware, software, and network capabilities that, when unified, create truly magical experiences that can only be found in our world. We'll show you how we're making access to our content and experiences, social interactions and titles vastly more simplified and streamlined. And we'll show you the many ways in which the living room is no longer the center of the PlayStation ecosystem, the gamer is. With the gamer as the focal point for our efforts, we've created a platform attuned to consumers' changing behaviors and an evolving sense of play. Ease of access, regardless of location or device, has been an absolute priority. With mobility and the ability to share content and experiences becoming an increasingly important part of the gaming experience, connectivity between devices and the ease with which they connect has been essential to meeting the demands of today's casual or core gamer. Our vision for the future is consumer-centric, developer-inspired, and characterized by an unwavering commitment to phenomenal play experiences. These experiences can happen on a console or a handheld device, and we're meeting the demand for mobility with the most powerful handheld gaming system ever created, PlayStation Vita. In fact, the operating system and chipset inside PlayStation Vita is so powerful, we think it could bring significant value to gamers' living room experiences. We know the potential for expanding PlayStation Vita to the living room is real and promises to deliver amazing gameplay and multimedia. We'll be talking more about this exciting initiative later this year, but it's safe to say that we'll continue to unlock PlayStation Vita's potential. We're also focused on expanding the world of PlayStation content to smartphones and tablets via PlayStation Mobile. We've strengthened the PlayStation Network to offer more groundbreaking indie titles such as Unfinished Swan and the critically acclaimed Journey. And we're bringing more convenience and value to our gamers through programs such as Instant Game Collection and Day One Digital. Every facet of PlayStation will continue to become more powerful, and as you'll see today, remains at the heart of every new innovation we create. While our Sony heritage has long been defined by superb engineering and technology unleashed via powerful hardware, we also knew success would rely not only on a package of next-generation technologies, but on reconceptualizing how the next-generation gamer would want to play. While we once had changed the gaming landscape, now the consumer was changing us. From mobility to multi-format play to greater community engagement, as well as platforms designed to enable access to entertainment, social media, and more, the demands for a new platform were clear. Conversations with the wildly talented and ambitious minds found within the developer community helped us understand what would define the new and the next for them. We painted a picture of the future that would revolutionize not just the console, but would have implications across our entire portfolio of products. Our immersion into the gaming experience at every touch point resulted in a renewed passion for play and keen insight into the demands any new platform would have to meet to be relevant and extraordinary. Today, we will give you a glimpse into the future of play, a reimagination of the gaming experience that has been developer-led, consumer-inspired, and powerfully and thoughtfully engineered by Sony Computer Entertainment. It's designed to make accessing the content gamers love easier than ever. It's conceived as the most personalized gaming experience available today. It is, consistent with our heritage in gaming, delivering the most powerful platform ever. It is simple and adaptive with socially enriched content. Expect worlds to come alive with greater fidelity and intensity than ever before. Expect the best franchises to be even better. And expect powerful opportunities to connect and play and stay informed even when away from the primary console. This is the foundation of our next generation platform, PlayStation 4. Thank you. We believe that PlayStation 4 represents a significant shift from thinking of PlayStation as merely a box or a console to thinking of PlayStation as a leading authority on play. For gamers around the world, PlayStation is the best place to play. PlayStation 4 will unleash imaginations to create next-generation experiences that surpass gamers' wildest expectations, while also allowing developers to explore new business models that offer more flexibility, including episodic and free-to-play. Today, we are revealing the genesis of an expanding idea about the future of play, an idea with enough vision to lead the ever-changing landscape, and an idea founded on the conviction that we must give gamers the kinds of multi-dimensional experiences they not only expect, but quite frankly, deserve. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to show you what the new PS4 is capable of, what innovations it is bringing to gamers, and what central ideas and principles drove its development. You'll meet the minds who form the creative soul of the gaming community, who are pushing the boundaries of play. One of those great minds is the gentleman I'm about to introduce. At the age of 17, he joined Atari, and by age 20 had his first major design success with the arcade game Marble Madness. Future successes were many. He worked with Sega on Sonic the Hedgehog, served as president of Universal Interactive Studios, and was part of the creative team on such blockbusters as Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, and Ratchet and Clank. Now, as our lead system architect on the PlayStation 4, he has been able to harness the engineering prowess of Sony Computer Entertainment with deep developer insight to create a next-generation platform that sets a new industry standard. It is my great pleasure to introduce lead system architect Mark Cerny.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you all for being here today. As Andy mentioned, my role on the development of the next generation platform started about 5 years ago. At that time, we began to look at how the console architecture could free developers from painful technological limitations and enable them to create the game experiences that they'd always been dreaming of making. We also looked at how the whole PlayStation ecosystem could be evolved as well to allow the player to take a dynamic, preference-driven path through the world of content. So when we started this process, it was the early days of the PlayStation 3, which is to say, at a time of great transition in technology and how we use it. Every major console, all the way from the Atari 2600, which was a dominant console when I started in games some 30-something years ago, all the way up through the PlayStation 2, had pretty much been a single-purpose device. Insert the cartridge, the CD, the DVD, power it on, play your game. That's all they did, and that was fine. That was the world we lived in then. But at the time of the launch of the PlayStation 3, all of that was in flux. The world was becoming a connected place, and a single device was now expected to provide a range of services and applications. Now, PS3 has done pretty well in these respects. It's the top platform for Netflix. But as a console designed before this revolution hit, there are limits to the functionality that it can provide in this new world. In addition, since the launch of PlayStation 3, we've seen a proliferation in the number and variety of devices that people own and interact with. With so many platforms to support, much less value is found today in exotic technologies such as blast processing or a supercomputer on a chip. I'm proud of what we accomplished with Cell on PlayStation 3, but at the same time, the need to radically customize technology can interfere with the design innovation that's so central to game creation. So for PlayStation 4, while we knew that the core performance of the console would be vital to its success, the cross-disciplinary team that we assembled had several additional goals. For one, we wanted to make sure that nothing would come between the platform, and the joy of play. When I think back to the launch of the PS1, there was a real fun factor that was an intrinsic part of the PlayStation DNA. The whole world was our audience, and we had a remarkable time evangelizing the message that gaming was fun. We also wanted to be sure that the system architecture could fluidly connect the player to a larger world of experiences and provide easy access to everything PlayStation has to offer, across the console and mobile spaces and the PlayStation Network. And finally, we wanted to hear from developers. We spoke to dozens of the best teams in the world. We wanted to know what was important to them. We wanted to make them happy. Because if they were happy, we knew we could unleash the creativity and innovation that would result in a true next-generation experience. Our goal was to create an architecture that would facilitate the expression of their ideas. Now, we couldn't come right out and say in 2008 or so, what would you like to see in a next-gen console? We had to talk our way around the topic. But they knew what we meant, and their comments were invaluable in crafting these system specs. And we were able to create, in PlayStation 4, a platform by game creators for game creators. It is a powerful and accessible system, and it has a deep feature set to support the ongoing development and evolution of gaming itself. Now, the architecture that we chose is like a PC in many ways, but supercharged to bring out its full potential as a gaming platform. For the CPU, we chose the most familiar architecture on the planet, the x86, allowing us to tap into over 3 decades of programming expertise. For the graphics processor, we decided to use a highly enhanced PC GPU, something that would be easy to develop for in the early days of the platform lifecycle, but at the same time, a GPU with remarkable long-term potential. And for system memory, I'm proud to announce that we are equipping the system with 8 gigabytes of high-speed unified memory, both satisfying the #1 developer request for ease of game creation and also increasing the richness of content achievable on the platform. And this system memory is backed by the massive local storage that only a hard drive can provide. Overall, this architecture is designed to ensure that the very best games and the most immersive experiences will reach the player. Now, the next few demos are live, so I get the pleasure of sharing with you, for the first time, the new controller. And here it is, the DualShock 4. So, during the development of the DualShock 4, we worked with key partners in the development community to enhance the feel of the joystick and the trigger buttons. The result is a much tighter sense of control over in-game actions. We also took this as an opportunity to enhance the rumble capabilities and reduce the controller latency. And finally, we added a few new features. A touchpad as a new form of input, a share button and a headphone jack to enhance social interactions, and a light pad as a light bar as a simpler, more friendly way to identify players. And this new controller was designed in tandem with a second peripheral, a stereo camera that can sense the depth of the environment in front of it and track the 3D position of the controller via its light bar. Now, this first live demo shows the payoff from the augmented PC architecture. This is Unreal Engine 4 from Epic, running in real time on prototype hardware. There's some very sophisticated technology here, GPU-accelerated particle systems and realistic transmissive materials with substantial subsurface scattering. And this is all running in real time. I can look around as the animation plays using the touchpad input. Not only do we have the power to drive this level of application, but we also have, in PlayStation 4, an extraordinarily easy conversion path from the PC world. Now, as to how we accomplish this, PlayStation 4 is centered around a powerful APU that combines 8 CPU cores with a state-of-the-art GPU with almost 2 teraflops of computational performance. Putting CPU and GPU on the same die gives them streamlined access to a common pool of memory. And with PlayStation 4, we're taking an unprecedented step. For system memory, we're using GDDR5, the type of memory typically reserved for top-of-the-line, high-end graphics cards. This gives us 176 gigabytes per second of bandwidth and provides a further boost to the GPU performance. Now, earlier I said we were using a highly enhanced PC GPU. Principally, we've modified the GPU to make compute easier, which is to say, we've made it practical to use the GPU as a general-purpose computational device. This next live demo is a million-object physics simulation from Havoc. This is primarily running on the GPU, not the CPU. Tasks that can fully occupy the CPU cores will be achievable using just a fraction of the PlayStation 4 GPU. Overall, our goal has been to architect the system so as to support a breadth of experiences. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the development community will choose to use this tool that we've provided for them. Truth is, I'm making a game too. In my case, I'm focusing on that joy of play I remember so well from the early PlayStation days. So, here's a quick look at the title I'm directing.
War has come to our peaceful land. We must send our best to neutralize this threat. A veteran explorer, military might. Yes, Doctor.
I would like to make a small addition to the team. Behold my greatest creation, Knack.
Just go slow, little buddy. You'll be fine.
He looks a little delicate to me. Knack is capable of explosive growth. He will be invaluable in the fight against the goblins. Knack, you're no human. Why do you work for them? Victor's up to something. The next step of human evolution begins now.
The world is about to change, and he'll be the one who changed it.
Thank you. I can't tell you how nice it is to finally be able to show that in public. So, with the major system components, CPU, GPU, hard drive, memory, controller in place, the next design task for our integrated and personalized. Now, these are just words, but concepts such as simplicity were extremely helpful in crafting the overall system architecture. Games continue to evolve, some becoming very complex indeed, and the processing power of the system is an exponential leap over its predecessors. But at the same time, we wanted the platform itself to be consumer-oriented with a premium placed in functionality and ease of use. For us, simplicity meant that powerful functionality needed to be just a button press away. Speed of response is also vital. Immediacy is no longer an ambition when creating system UI, it's an expectation of players. So on PlayStation 4, put together a feature set, assisted in many ways by custom hardware, that radically reduces the lag time between consumers and their content. For one, the hardware supports suspending and resuming play sessions. Just hit the power button and the system enters a low power state, with the play session preserved in RAM. The minutes that it takes today to boot a console and load a saved game will be a thing of the past. On PS4, you'll just hit that button again and promptly be back playing the game at the exact spot you left off. PlayStation 4 also has a secondary custom chip that manages uploads and downloads. As a result, it's possible to download or update games in the background, or even with the main power off. And we're taking this one step further. On PlayStation 4, digital titles are playable even as they are being downloaded. When you purchase a title, you download just a fraction of the data and begin playing. The rest of the data is downloaded in the background as you continue to play the game. Our next key principle is social. There's no doubt that play is no longer an isolated pastime. Social play is so important to PlayStation 4 that we've added in hardware to support it in the form of dedicated, always-on video compression and decompression systems. Now, to illustrate the next few points, I'm going to show you various aspects of the PS4 user interface, which is a complete redesign over what we have today on PlayStation 3. Part of what this dedicated video compression and decompression hardware does is it enables seamless uploadings of recordings of gameplay. Just hit the share button on the controller, scan through the last few minutes of gameplay, pick a portion, tag it, and return to your game. The video will upload as you continue play. Our goal is to make the sharing of video as popular in the PlayStation 4 generation as the sharing of screenshots is today. And this same hardware enhances visibility of gameplay. You can browse live game video of what your friends are doing at that exact moment, or spectate the gameplay of a famous person within your gaming universe. You can even see that your friend is in trouble and reach out through the network to take over the controller and assist them through some difficult portion of the game. And on PlayStation 4, we are transitioning to a friends network based on real-world friends. We'll keep around the alias and the icon used in today's multiplayer matches. These are great to have when anonymity is important, but most of the new social dimension to PlayStation 4 will be interacting with friends using real names and profile pictures, most likely seeded from your existing social network. And this social network isn't visible only from within the console UI. PlayStation 4 is designed to be a highly integrated platform, seamlessly interconnected across the network to the full PlayStation ecosystem, as well as to key third-party devices and services. Applications on smartphones and tablets, as well as web platforms and Vita, will allow PlayStation 4 conversations to be carried far beyond the living room. You can use your smartphone to browse game video of possible opponents in your favorite fighting game and challenge them to matches. Companion applications on PlayStation Vita or your tablet will add another dimension to the experience and allow you to keep in touch with the evolving world of your game regardless of your location. And our final ambition with PlayStation 4 is personalization, the concept that the system can get to know you and bring you closer to the games and other experience that you're seeking. Personalization is a key design principle of the PlayStation 4 interface. You're just a button press away from the latest news about your game titles or interactions with your friends. But as the system learns your likes and dislikes, we can take this a step further. You'll discover content preloaded and ready to go on your console by your favorite creator or in your favorite genre. Our long-term vision is download times of digital titles to zero. If we know enough about you to predict the next game you'll purchase, then that game can be loaded and ready to go before you even click the buy button. So, in conclusion, an informed system architecture was fundamental to the creation of PlayStation 4. It is and always has been our goal to deliver play that is deeply satisfying. And in order to do that, we knew we would need to design to the dreams and ambitions of the developers who create the content that game players crave. And we knew that these game players would expect ease of access, simplicity, and control over their content and their experiences, and that a successful new platform would need to not only meet, but also exceed their expectations. We've therefore taken a deeply consumer-focused and developer-centric approach to the design of the PlayStation 4, resulting in gaming experiences that evolve and ensuring that PlayStation continues to offer the best place to play. As a developer and creator, and certainly as a gamer, I'm thrilled about the vast potential of the PS4 to empower new and even more compelling game experiences. And that's the end of my section of today's presentation. Thank you very much for your time. So, I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Dave Perry. You probably know him as the co-founder and CEO of Gaikai, a pioneering company in cloud gaming that Sony Entertainment purchased last year. For me, though, it's a bit different. Dave's one of my personal heroes, a charismatic game designer with a string of hits, including Aladdin and Earthworm Jim, that I've spent far too much of my time playing over the years. Please join me in welcoming David Perry, CEO of Gaikai.
Hey, thanks, Mark. It's truly an honor to be here with everyone in the room and the millions watching live around the world. I can't tell you how excited the Gaikai team and I are to be working on the PlayStation 4 platform. They're actually back at our office watching live through the internet right now, so hi everyone. As Mark mentioned, I've proudly spent nearly all of my life playing and creating video games. We all remember powering up our first PlayStation and the adrenaline rush that followed. It wasn't just a piece of hardware that gave us the goosebumps. It was knowing that the PlayStation would be delivering new experiences that pushed the gaming forward into completely new territories. And that's precisely what we're doing with PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Network, integrated with our Gaikai technology. PlayStation 4 is an incredible platform, and it's imperative that the PlayStation Network delivers a connected experience that is equally incredible and delivers on the vision of the PlayStation 4. With the network, you'll fight together, you'll become champions together, and you'll conquer the world together. The gamer is at the center of the PlayStation Network, so every decision that we're making for the network is scrutinized to ensure that it delivers on what gamers want most out of their entertainment experiences. What we're creating is the fastest, most powerful network for gaming in the world. The PlayStation Network will get to know you by understanding your personal preferences and the preferences of your community, and turns this knowledge into useful information that will help to enhance future gameplay. So like when your friends purchase a new game, you'll know immediately so you can join into the action. And with the Gaikai Cloud technology, our goal is to make free exploration possible for virtually any PlayStation 4 game in the PlayStation Store. So imagine you're in the store, you're checking out the latest titles, and you see something that catches your eye. No problem. You can simply press the X button to hop in and start playing the game. Now in the past, not all games were available, and the ones that were had to be kind of the light version, where they had been edited down so that they could be downloaded reasonably quickly. With Gaikai in the PlayStation Store, you'll be able to instantly experience anything that you want. I've always liked that concept of try it for free, share it if you like it, and pay only for the games that you fall in love with. So now we're changing the rules when it comes to social gaming. By putting social at the core of PlayStation 4 experiences, we can layer in new features meaningful to gamers. We've partnered with some of the biggest and most influential social networks in the world, including Facebook and Ustream, to bring gamers' friends into games like never before. Social networks such as Facebook are obviously critical to how we stay in touch with our friends and current events around the world. But they don't know your PlayStation gaming history and all your preferences, nor those of your friends. They don't know if you're a Journey expert or if you've collected up every platinum in the Uncharted series. So by combining the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Network, and these social platforms, our vision is to create the first social gaming network with meaning. And this network will be dedicated, just to be clear, to games. So as you know, spectating has become very popular in our industry because it lets gamers learn tricks and tips from the best players in the world. When players find something they love, it's our job at PlayStation to make that even better. So we've asked ourselves, how could we improve the spectating experience? First, what we're using is that share button on the PlayStation 4 controller. With that one button, you can broadcast from your game live, 100% real time, to your friends. It's an incredible innovation and something that has never been possible on console before. And we could have stopped there, but we kept pushing. So we're making it so that your friends can actually look over your shoulder virtually and interact with you while you're playing. And if you allow them, your friends can also post comments to your screen. You can solicit support from them, or you can just trash talk with them, and you can even be inside a different game. But wouldn't it be cool if you were stuck in a difficult level, like you just can't work out how to get through that door? You could ask a friend on the internet who's finished the game to take over your controller and assist. We're building this capability into the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Network so that your circle of PSN friends will become that much more important. And finally, we're helping fuel the imagination of our developers by giving them new spectating tools. Now imagine a developer using these tools. If they identify a gaming expert, they can give them director-level status so they can manipulate levels to assist you during your gameplay. Developers can insert command buttons for certain levels where friends can drop in special items for you, such as giving you a health potion when you're in critical condition. We've also partnered with Ustream to give gamers multicasting capabilities. And that means you can schedule a set time and broadcast your gameplay live to anyone that you want to invite. In summary, the base hardware architecture for PlayStation Network was designed to facilitate and integrate social aspects throughout all phases of the gaming experience. The PlayStation Network wraps you in your favorite content wherever you are. Our PlayStation Network wraps you in your favorite content wherever you are, across the PS4, the PS3, the PS Vita, smartphones, and tablets. And we're going to give developers a simple, elegant solution for enhancing their PS4 games on second screens. A key feature enabled by second screens is remote play. Now, we believe so much in remote play that it's been built into the architecture of the PlayStation 4. So how are we unlocking remote play's potential with this next generation? The answer is PlayStation Vita. PS Vita is the ultimate companion device for PS4, enabling gamers to put their games from their beautiful HD TVs right onto their PS Vita's beautiful 5-inch OLED display. For example, say you're in the middle of an epic battle on PS4, but your kids have just taken over the living room. What do? Well, it's easy. You just use remote play to transfer the game over to your PS Vita. Now, as you saw, Mark is working on this game, Knack, on the PS4, so we brought a surprise for him today. By using remote play, he can now also play his game instantly on the PS Vita. So what do you think, Mark?
I think it looks great. So this is my PlayStation 4 title, Knack, running in remote play on Vita. And the work's really well distributed between the two consoles. We're using the full graphical capabilities of the PlayStation 4. And on Vita, we're taking advantage of the beautiful 5-inch OLED, as well as the sophisticated mobile controls.
I was expecting you to say cool. So, okay, spoken like a true system architect. Our long-term goal is to make every PlayStation 4 title playable on the PS Vita. I mean, if you think about that, Even the demos that you're seeing today, some of the most incredible, we have some incredible things to show you. If you can imagine, we can make those games instantly playable on the PS Vita as well. So to make remote play between the PS4 and the PS Vita feel good, we've dramatically reduced transmission times so the gameplay is snappy and immediate. We've accomplished this by integrating some of the Gaikai technology into the PS4 system architecture that essentially turns it into a game server, and the PS Vita becomes a client with remarkably fast connection speeds. Of course, the PlayStation Network and the PS4 will provide access to a vast array of other forms of entertainment beyond gaming. PlayStation gamers love all forms of entertainment, including watching movies, watching TV shows, listening to music. So PlayStation Network will have services including Sony's own Video Unlimited and Music Unlimited. And we're working with leading services like Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, and other media services to have them on the platform. We'll be announcing more specifics on this later in the year. Now, I've already mentioned a couple of ways that Gaikai's cloud technology and PlayStation Network will enhance the player's experiences. The PlayStation Network in the cloud can present additional value to PlayStation gamers. For example, over the past 6 years, PlayStation 3 has built an incredible catalog of titles that is unmatched in the industry. Although PS3 titles aren't natively supported on the PS4, we're exploring some very unique opportunities enabled by cloud technology with the long-term vision of making PS3 games ubiquitous on any device. The technology is so advanced that someday we could easily put PS1, PS2, PS3, and the PS Mobile games on any device, including the PlayStation 4. This would fundamentally change the concept of game longevity. Imagine having access to all the old games you love and the ability to get them up and running in seconds wherever you are on whatever device you have near you. Everything everywhere is the challenge that PlayStation has put before our teams. That's the vision of the PlayStation Cloud service, and it's going to require us to build the fastest global network ever made. Now, Gaikai won a Guinness World Record for our prototype network, but now I'm happy to announce that the project has been fully greenlit by Sony. So this is not an investment into advanced technology and infrastructure. This is an investment into the millions of loyal PlayStation gamers across the world who would love to have all the past, present, and future games at their fingertips. We'll be rolling out PlayStation's cloud services in phases, so we can't reveal all the possibilities here today, but you can be certain that it and the PlayStation 4 will change the way that we play. Now, I've described the vision and the strategy behind PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Network. Let's hear how some of the world's most accomplished developers are using it as their virtual platform to turn their creative dreams into reality. Thank you.
You know, our industry the past 10 years has seen so many trends come and go. You know, there's been, at times people are, you have to do social, you have to do casual, you have to do hardcore, you have to do this, you have to do that. But as much as it's been changing, all of those different trends have been supporting each other. What I love about this console is that I think it's the first time that these trends are going to really be brought together. This is where the promise of what we can do is bigger than just one genre.
This time, Sony came around to us and they came to our office and they said, here's what we're thinking. What are you guys thinking? What have you been held back by? And what would you do if you didn't have any technical limitations?
That they gave us the possibility to provide feedback and to adapt based on the feedback they received from developers was, for me, a very important message.
All these developers had a hand in actually helping form what the PlayStation 4 would eventually turn out to be.
We took all that into consideration to create the system that just works.
When we think about the word simple, we've chosen to interpret that with a comparable word, elegance. And to us that means this balance between how complex the simulation or the options or the interfaces are with how deep the experience you can get from it. The more elegant a design is, then the more simple and easy it is to get incredible depth.
Where you can have a deeper experience that's still not really complicated, but it's much richer and much more immersive.
Everyone has, to some degree, some instinct of craft. They want to make something their own. They want to make it a representation of themselves to other people who know them.
Through personalization, there can be a relationship between the kind of content that I'm interested in and how the options are presented to me.
So this system actually is very much aware of the player and what's going on in the room at any given point.
So for example, when I go to the PlayStation Store, right now I see advertisements and commercials for a lot of games that I'm frankly not interested in. Having a good way to present you the games that you're interested in is very important for us.
If we want everyone to be engaged in gaming and love it and understand it, we just got to make it easy for everyone to get into that and not waste everyone's time.
That doesn't involve 3 minutes of boot up and disc shuffling and sort of all of these things that are just like a nuisance between the impulse to play a game.
So immediacy becomes an important goal. I want to make the decision to experience something or to access something, and I want it right now.
There isn't any more waiting time, there isn't any more startup. I literally walk in, pick up the controller,
hit the start button, it just goes.
It's a huge win for gamers. You're able to download the first bit of a game and start playing it before the next 20 gigs downloads.
One button press away, and you get what you want.
Historically, console games have been very much like lived in a tower. You go to your living room, you have that experience there, and that's where it happens, and then like you leave your living room and then you have the rest of your life. Looking ahead, integrated gaming experiences will follow you everywhere that you go.
The entire world has changed in the way you can interact with many devices wherever you are at any time of day.
So there'll be some window into that entertainment experience that's accessible through your phone or your PC or a portable gaming device.
The many different devices that you use are seamlessly integrated to create your PS4 experience very seamless.
There was a time when the shared experience meant that your friend sat next to you on the couch. Now that we can basically project that across the globe.
Offering them opportunities to interact with each other, while they're playing the game, but also outside of the game.
The new big feature that we have on this controller is the appearance of the share button. The share button allows you to record any gameplay and create a video or a screenshot and share it instantly.
Whenever they want to share an epic moment, they can just press that button.
Before you had to make a video, edit the video, upload the video, and now we're going to make this so easy for people to just like press the share button and off it goes.
It's going to bring opportunities to engage players with the game and with each other like we've never done before.
One of the neat things about next generation hardware is there's always kind of this mystery. What is the actual ceiling of this thing? What is the potential? How far are we going to be able to push it?
The possibilities have just blown open in a way that in previous generations it never had.
This is what PlayStation is about. It's about innovation and it's about new ideas.
PlayStation 4というのは、非常にプレーンなシステムですから、真っ白なキャンバスみたいなもので、すごくクリエイターにとって腕の振るいようがあるんですね。全ては、クリエイターが何を、そのキャンバスに書き込むか、が全てなんですね。
Because at the end of the day, everybody does like that. Everybody does want to see new amazing things.
For me, the three words that would recap would be
immersive, magical,
simplicity,
ultimate play.
The game entertainment machine.
It's coming soon.
It's a connected world.
It's the PlayStation.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Worldwide Studios, please welcome Michael Denny.
Thank you. So as you've heard from Mark and Dave, and as you've just seen in the video, there are a lot of very happy game developers out there right now, which is fantastic, because the future of PlayStation is about great games. Inspiring 4 will bring a new synergy between hardware, software, and the fastest, most powerful gaming network in the world, unlocking a new canvas for creativity. From the outset, our game creators have been given the opportunity to collaborate with our hardware and system software engineers to help shape PlayStation 4's unique feature set. So with this powerful synergy, deeper, more connected, and whether working on new IP or reinventing existing franchises, PlayStation 4 has ignited their creativity to build exclusive new experiences that until now they could only have dreamt of. So, I guess what a lot of you have been waiting for, let's take an early look at some of their work. Please welcome on stage the Managing Director and co-founder of Guerrilla Games, Herman Hulse.
people of Helgast and the people of Vector. This conflict is about much more than just resources. The Helgast are fighting for their right to exist, while the Vectors want to protect their way of life. The Helgast have evolved and claim genetic superiority. They are brutal and relentless in pursuit of their so-called justice by a vast wall. This is a story about the loss of home, the search for a new home, and the lengths to which people go to defend it. This is Killzone Shadowfall.
Units from all over. It's the waiting around that messes with your head. Guess now you're here, things start moving, huh? Nobody gets through that. Back up! Back up! Let him through! This way, sir.
Sorry, sir, just a formality.
What happened to play? Where did that go?
Yeah, well, and they don't go straight from the studio.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I think I'm just going to go after it.
Well, let's go eat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Southern from Evolution Studios, and we're making the game we've always wanted to make. It's called Drive Club, and it's all about team-based racing. I've waited so long to be able to tell you about it. It's existed as a concept at the studio for 10 years. We trademarked the name Drive Club 9 years ago. You can check it online. At its heart, it's always been a very simple concept about driving the very best cars in the world, in the greatest locations in the world, but crucially, doing it together. And we've literally waited for the technology to be available to deliver our vision. We've visited the greatest car companies there are to share this vision for next-gen team racing. And they love that Drive Club isn't just about cars and locations, not even just about winning races, but about people, about collaborative gameplay with friends in teams. Next generation no longer just means more powerful hardware. We're the next generation of gamer. We want to play great-looking games like this, but in new ways that fit our permanently connected social lives. And to us, that means driving in a team. Drive Club is a game to play in real clubs, asynchronously and in real time, against other clubs all around the world. The gameplay isn't specifically about races, it's about challenges, and rewards you for playing in groups even if you aren't top of the leaderboard, much like the best squad-based first-person shooters do. I can also fire up the Drive Club app on my phone or tablet, pick a race type, pick the cars, pick any time of day, in any weather, at any time of the year, set a time, and then send that challenge all around the world. Then I can watch the drama unfold as hundreds of players and clubs try to become the best at my challenge. We're talking 24/7, untethered access to your club, no matter where you are, home or away. Plus, whether it's a short team drag race or a weekend-long 1,000-player tournament with hundreds of teams, every section of every track is packed with challenges. First-person games are also great at transporting you and your friends fully into their worlds. And we're using first-person perspective to make sure you and your mates feel exactly how you should when you own a car like this. We're recreating them with obsessive love. These are two of the fastest production cars in the world, the Hennessy Venom GT and the Koenigsegg Agera R. And they're as close as you'll get to the real thing in terms of detail and accuracy, with totally correct material parameters painstakingly measured from the real thing using our custom-built photometric apparatus. We've gone borderline insane with real-world details and subtleties. We've modelled the direction of each microscopic metallic flake of paint in multiple layers. We've emulated the effect of each individual thread in the weave of the carbon fibre, so the pattern alters realistically with the lighting angle. The lights themselves are fully modelled using multiple layers of reflectors and lenses that refract the real bulbs underneath. And we've modelled those rainbow patterns you get when you wax the plastic headlamp covers. Even the suede and carpet have a fibre direction map, causing them to reflect light differently when they've been brushed or touched. In fact, let's climb into a car now. This isn't cockpit view. This is true first-person racing. The exquisite feeling of opening the door, breathing in the experience, strapping yourself in, and firing up a 1,200 brake horsepower engine. Ladies and gentlemen, it's such a thrill for a studio to be asked to help define new PlayStation technology so that we can finally bring our vision for team-based racing to life. That's just a brief glimpse of Drive Club. We can't wait to show you more. Thank you.
In 1999, I took part in a political rally and got tear-gassed by the cops. Now, up until then, I'd always thought the police were there to protect me, to protect the people that I cared about. But on that day, they didn't. We all want to feel safe, right? But it is hard to put your finger on what that sense of security is worth. However, it is easy to say what it costs. Right now, there are 4.2 million security cameras distributed all around Great Britain. That is one camera for every 14 citizens. In 2011, the U.S. government seized the personal cell phone records of 1.3 million of its citizens. There are 1,200 of us in here today. 4 of us have been monitored. And 2 years ago, American travelers spent a combined 75,000 years waiting in airport security. You add that all up, that is 1,000 lifetimes lost in line in just 1 year. Our security comes at a high price. Our freedom. Now, picture how things would change, how the world would react if a handful of people suddenly developed superhuman abilities. Capable of unleashing incredible carnage without ever pulling a trigger or lighting a fuse, these people would be living, breathing weapons that could pass through any metal detector or X-ray scanner or even a strip search completely undetectable. We already live in a culture of fear. Picture how things would change. How much control would any of us have over our own lives? And which of us would have the courage to fight to get our freedoms back? I'm Nate Fox, here to introduce to you Sucker Punch's latest game, exclusive for the PlayStation 4.
Your safety is our top priority. The DUP is in control. To expedite scanning, please remove all ring bracelets. The DUP is in control.
G6 status.
G6 clear.
G7 status. H1 status. What the hell? What was that?
I don't know.
What should we do?
E, status.
On me. Keep your eyes peeled. The DUP is in control of the situation.
Up there! We got him! Lost me too. We're in there somewhere.
Over there. Go. Cover me.
I want him alive.
Stop right now! On the ground!
The DUP is in control of the situation.
You are not in control.
Thanks, Nate. And I'm pretty sure he's just won the backstage suite for the coolest game introduction of the night there. And thanks to all the guys for introducing 3 already amazing-looking games that not only look fantastic, but allow a depth of gameplay that will take our players to a new level of immersion. PlayStation has always been proud to offer the best gameplay experiences. Now, often that means deeper and more intense versions of experiences that we know we already love. But sometimes best can mean things that are surprising, things that don't always fit, things that can help us pioneer new ways to play and embrace the unexpected. PlayStation will always be a leader in encouraging creators to push the boundaries. from supporting smaller indies with their highly innovative and sometimes left-field ideas, to supporting more established teams in their quest to take creative risks that other publishers simply won't take. In the next few minutes, we would like to take you on an adventure into the imaginations of three amazing creators who continue to inspire us with their unique visions. The first comes from one of the world's most acclaimed independent developers. PlayStation remains steadfast in our support for the indie development community. By offering self-publishing on PlayStation Network, we'll continue to provide the most open console to enable smaller developers to easily bring their breakthrough titles to PlayStation gamers. So please join me in welcoming on stage the creator of the captivating and critically acclaimed Braid to introduce his team's latest creation that will debut on PlayStation 4, Jonathan Blow.
Hey, I really don't know what I'm going to do to follow up after all those explosions, but we'll see what happens, I guess. Anyway, due to the success of Braid, we've managed to found a new small development studio, and we've been working on our new game, which is called The Witness, for 3.5 years now. It's a game where you explore a mysterious abandoned island and solve the puzzles that you find there. But at its heart, at its core, it's a game about epiphany, that instantaneous transition of the mind that takes you from confusion to understanding. You know, one minute your situation seems impossible, you have no idea what the solution to your problem would even look like. And then the next minute you see everything. It's all very simple and clear. And you wonder how you couldn't have seen this solution before. You know, a lot of games have these kind of little aha moments in them. But in The Witness, we take this aha substance and distill it into a concentrated form. And in doing so, we make design decisions the opposite way that most games would. The Witness takes place in an open world, so you can go wherever you want to at any time. But whereas most games in open worlds try to make their worlds as big as possible, so you'll be impressed by the sheer scale of the endeavor, in The Witness, we're trying to make the world as compact as possible, so that you have a very dense experience that makes the best use of your time. Wherever you're standing in this open world, there are 3 or 4 different destinations with completely different themes within 20 seconds of walking from where you are. New interesting things around every corner, and everything in the world is carefully placed, and everything is where it is for a reason. A lot of games try to pad their playtime so that they seem long, but in this game, we work very, very hard to cut anything that's redundant. There's no filler. Now, it's a puzzle game, but the puzzles aren't just arbitrary. They don't exist just to be puzzles for you to solve. Every puzzle has an idea inside it. And on the design side, we work very, very hard to communicate in a nonverbal way the essence of each idea. Now, even with this focus on compactness, we've managed to put together a game with 25 hours of gameplay, of unique puzzles, everyone bringing you something different. And in the release window, PlayStation 4 will be the only console that The Witness is on. Now, it's a game that happens really all in your mind, much more so than on the screen anyway. But nevertheless, tonight we've put together our first official trailer, which I'll show you now. Let's roll the clip.
Thanks, Jonathan. Wonderful stuff. And how about that? What other event would show you a game like the visceral and action-packed Killzone, followed by the mesmerizing and thought-provoking Witness? And speaking of Killzone, at the end of the playthrough you saw earlier, Stephen hit the new share button and uploaded it directly to the Killzone Facebook page. So as soon as we're done here, please go check it out. Okay, so what follows now are not game presentations, but a glimpse of the future, sure to challenge your current vision of gaming. Two of our wonderfully talented creators will give us an early glimpse into their concepting process and demonstrate what is possible when you combine PlayStation 4 with unbridled creativity. So first up, please welcome, from the award-winning Quantic Dream, David Cage.
When people ask me, what is the feature you want the most on future hardware platforms? My answer is always the same: emotion. Getting the player emotionally involved is the holy grail of all game creators. We all try to trigger intense, subtle, and diverse emotions. We try to make players forget that this is just a program animating pixels on the screen. We don't want them just to watch something. We want them to live it and suspend their disbelief, experiencing that magic moment where they live in a different reality. Emotion is something complex and challenging to capture. It's conveyed by graphics, animation, sound, cinematography, dialogue, of course, gameplay. In a medium like ours, technology is very important. It is what we rely on to get the player emotionally involved. If you look in the past, some films were highly emotional while being silent and in black and white, but they were limited in their expression to simpler stories that had to be told under heavy technical constraints. Actors had to exaggerate their moves to convey their emotions, cameras could hardly move, and lighting as well as photography were barely concepts at the time. Cinema really became what it is today when technology evolved enough to let movie directors and actors create the subtle emotions they wanted on screen. Eventually, they developed sound, color, lighting, and higher resolution formats, and suddenly, the audience could see in the eyes of the actors when they were lying or when they were about to cry. Pantomimes were not necessary anymore because the most subtle nuances of emotions could be seen on screen. With the PlayStation 4, games have now finally reached that stage. In 1999, Quantic Dream's first game, Omicron, featured characters with 350 polygons. Indigo Prophecy's main characters were around 1,500 polys. Heavy Rain's character were about 15,000, Chara at 20,000. This year, Jodie Holmes and Beyond will be about 30,000 polygons. On PlayStation 4, this is what you can get. Quantic Dream has developed a completely new engine. What you see is running in real-time 3D on a PlayStation 4. It is our first attempt at using advanced skin shaders with translucency, realistic ice shaders, volumetric lights, 3D depth of field, and many, many other features that were up until today reserved to CG films. This is the quality that we will get in our future games, and we know we can go even further. But more important than these technical features, we start to reach a point where you can see very subtle emotions on the face of a character, where you can feel his emotions just looking at his face, where you can see his soul just looking into his eyes. When you look at this old man, you can imagine who he is, what he thinks, what happened to him, without him saying a word. With the PlayStation 4, game creators can now forget about the technology limitations and simply focus on inventing experiences never seen before. We can concentrate on what amazing stories we want to tell and what incredible worlds we want to create. We can take you to places you have never been before and make you feel emotions you have never felt in real life without having to wonder if we will have the horsepower to do so. We are now only limited by our imagination. Thank you.
Wow, David, please can I have a copy of that skin shader? But I mean, seriously, it's just amazing to be able to get that emotion in the eyes. It's really hard. So, hello. I'm Alex Evans from Media Molecule, and Michael asked us to just give a little insight into our creative process over the last few years at our studio. And, you know, when we first heard about the PlayStation 4, we began thinking, what can we do to turn creative gaming and take it to the next level? Because that's what Media Molecule was founded to do. It was to use this amazing device to bring the creativity of every PlayStation user to the fore. And creativity takes many forms these days, whether it's taking a picture, cosplaying as Kratos, or 3D printing a customized character. It's easier than ever to the fore. And creativity takes many... So creation is everywhere, but it can feel kind of fractured and complicated. And so we thought, how can we cut through all the crap? And we realized there's a simple way of thinking about all of this. What we wanted to do was let you record your dreams. Think about other people's dreams, or to make your own. It's the place you go to create. And the only question for us was how. When we looked at how people create digitally, especially in 3D, things just haven't changed in the irony of the polygon. And so we asked ourselves, how could PlayStation 4 change this? How could the insane power per dollar that only touch interfaces? Basically, we tried everything, and it got more and more complicated, more and more space age. It just did not feel like recording dreams at all. And then we discovered that the single most powerful, accurate, and precise tool for 3D creation was right under our noses. It was the Move controller. Now, finally, at last, after a troubled relationship, we've completely fallen in love with this thing. Dear Move controller, I'm sorry, it's taken us so long to realize this, but we're going to marry you with the power of the PlayStation 4. We are going to revolutionize making. You're great. So one of the first things we built with this was a sculpting tool, and we've been using it for a while now. Once we stopped thinking in terms of memory budgets, schedules, pixels, we forgot about the technology and we just started doodling, just sketching, put that at the heart of our creative process. A really lovely thing happened. We started having real fun making, collaborating, sketching, remaking. It doesn't matter where you start out because you can take a left turn at any time that inspiration strikes and go somewhere even cooler. It's a free-form creative journey that I think of a little bit like cloud watching, except that you can reach in at any time and change and shape it to whatever's in your head. Behind me, you can see a time-lapse of one of our sculpts playing back literally as it was made, because we record every single move that you make. And because it's such a quick and free-form thing, before we knew it at Media Molecule, we had made hundreds of these things. Imagine this multiplied from our tiny staff to the thousands and millions of brilliant PlayStation users online. Every single one of these was made entirely with the Move controller. And it's a kind of performance. You're able to put down your ideas as fast as you can think of them. It's this combination of the PlayStation 4's power with the Move's unique accuracy, which allows us to ditch all of the 2D fiddly camera controls and nasty user interface. It makes 3D sculpting easy for beginners and deep for advanced creators. And if you're like me and haven't quite mastered sculpture yet, then we're going to allow you to use the creativity of all of these people to collage and create ever larger sets, game levels, stories, with the simplest possible interface. You just hold your controller and click to assemble your dream. Of course, this isn't just about sculpture and collage. With PlayStation 4, with the creative console, we wanted to change making in every way, whether it's music, gaming, or storytelling. And the point is, it's fast to create. What you're about to see was recorded live in one take. It's someone's dream
brought to life with PlayStation 4.
How do you follow that? Thanks very much, Alex. Although we've only shown glimpses of these new exclusive titles and some creative explorations being developed for PlayStation 4, I think you'll agree that our Worldwide Studios team and the indie community is pushing the boundaries into how games look, feel, and interact. Of course, the development teams that comprise Worldwide Studios aren't the only ones focusing their efforts on PlayStation 4. We have long-standing relationships going back to the original PlayStation with some of the most iconic and influential developers in the world. And I'm proud to announce that virtually every major third-party partner across North America, Europe, Japan, and Asia will support PlayStation 4. Today, we'll be sharing with you some amazing new titles, but we're just scratching the surface of the full roster that we'll show throughout the year. To help demonstrate this point, please join me in welcoming our first guest, Yoshinori Ono from Capcom.
Hi everyone, do you want to stretch? All right. So, I'm not talking about Street Fighter today. So, good morning, good evening, everyone. So, and good morning those in Japan. I have really been looking forward to tonight's presentation. You have no idea how badly I wanted to tweet about it, but I persevered. It feels good to finally be able to talk about this stuff. I hope you are eager to listen as well. This event is being streamed to Japan as we speak. So we will be conducting this presentation in both Japanese and English. 日本の皆さん、おはようございます。これから日本語で僕がプレゼンテーションをさせていただきます。カプコンは今までのタイトル、テクノロジーの進化、これはプレイステーションと一緒に歴史を歩んできたと言っても過言ではありません。
Capcom's technology and the games themselves have changed a great deal over the years, keeping pace with PlayStation's evolving technology and business style.
プレイステーション1の時代、我々は 2D アニメーションからバイオハザードというタイトルで 3D に大きく変革のテクノロジーをしてきました。
The technology of the original PlayStation allowed us to move beyond the 2D sprites to which we'd grown accustomed and break new ground with IPs such as Resident Evil.
プレイステーション2の時代、DVD ロムという新しいビジネススタイル、そしてエモーションエンジンという新しいグラフィックエンジンを我々は手に入れて、新しい IP、鬼武者シリーズとデビルメイクライを作り出してきました。
The DVD-ROM technology and the emotion engine brought to us by the PlayStation 2 allowed us to create visually stunning titles that took advantage of newly developed graphical engines. Titles such as the Onimusha series and Devil May Cry would not have been possible without the technology that the PS2 brought to the table.
そして PSP の時代です。今まで家庭用でしかできなかった経験を外に持ち運ぶ、そしてネットワークにつなぐ、この形で我々はモンスターハンターシリーズを生み出してきました。
The PSP allowed us, for the first time, to take our PlayStation experience out of the living room and into the world, using communication technology to bring such experiences like the Monster Hunter series to life.
2D アニメーションのシンボルであったストリートファイターシリーズ、そして恐怖体験のシンボルであったバイオハザードシリーズ、これを今の時代にしっかりと蘇らしたのも PlayStation 3の技術があったからだと思っています。
The most gorgeous 2D art the Street Fighter series could muster upon its rebirth. The progression and evolution of the Resident Evil series and the utter fear that it instills, all this immersion, all these fantastic effects, we owe it to the PlayStation 3 format.
我々はこの PlayStation 4の時代、新しい時代へ走ってみたいと思っています。
And now here we are, with the announcement of the PlayStation 4, we are proud to help usher in a new era of entertainment.
我々は今まで MT フレームワークというエンジンを使って開発をし続けてきました。
We've been hard at work developing a new engine suited to the PlayStation 4 and its power, the next evolutionary step from our MT framework engine.
PlayStation 4、この新しいビジネススタイル、そして新しいグラフィックエンジンに対応する新しいエンジン作りを今進めています。
We continue to refine this engine to ensure that it takes advantage of the incredible technology, power, and business style that the PlayStation 4 embodies.
このエンジンコードネームパンタレイは新しいテクノロジー、そしてそのテクノロジーを使うツール、そして新しいゲームデザインに対応するべくただいま目下開発中です。
This new engine, codenamed Panta-Ray, by taking advantage of current technology and providing the tools necessary to harness it, will allow us to take game design in entirely new directions.
本日はこのパンタレイの上で動いている新しい IP、そしてPlayStation 4の上で実際動いている映像を今日は皆さんにお届けしたいと思います。
I'd like to show you a little something. It represents a new IP running on the PlayStation 4 using the Panta-Ray engine.
Useless magic could have me poking lines in the old market for 1/10 the hassle of your empty venture. Why are we following him anyway?
Let's find this bloody third gate.
Harvard このディープダウン、そしてパンタレイは今目下開発中です。
So as we speak, Deep Down is being developed concurrently with the Panta-Ray engine.
この PlayStation 4という新しいアイテム、そして新しい力を使って我々は皆さんに新しいゲーム体験を体験していただきたいと思っています。
So we're hoping that the power and technology behind the PlayStation 4 will bring us all sorts of brand new experiences.
Thank you very much for listening to our presentation. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ono-san. Domo. Arigatou gozaimashita. Footage looks remarkable and brand new IP. We're really excited by what Capcom has in the works for PlayStation 4, and we'll be sharing more later this year. Square Enix is another major partner developing for PlayStation 4. As you know, our relationship with Square Enix dates back 16 years to when Final Fantasy VII appeared on the original PlayStation. Since then, our partnership has fostered some of the most innovative gameplay and rich cinematics and storylines that gamers fell in love with. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Yoshihisa Hashimoto from Square Enix to tell you more about their support for PlayStation 4.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Yoshihisa Hashimoto. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Square Enix Japan. It's a great pleasure to be present at the announcement of the PlayStation 4. This is a historical event for the game industry. And I'm truly honored to be allowed to give a demonstration in front of you all. Today's demo isn't a game, but rather a real-time cinematic demo running on PlayStation 4. This cinematic was created using Lumina Studio, Square Enix's state-of-the-art game engine. I believe it will give you a taste of the game experiences that will become possible with the next-gen capabilities of the PlayStation 4. Without further ado, please enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. This is the level of quality that Square Enix is targeting for our next generation titles. The PlayStation 4 is a multifunctional, incredibly powerful gaming platform. Its CPU and GPU processing power are extremely high. And it has massive amount of memory and even has wonderful social features. And the development environment is excellent, flexible, and super easy to use. In short, it's a game developer's dream. Thanks to the PlayStation 4, the possibilities of gameplay experiences have been greatly expanded, and players will be enthralled by the new generation of gameplay that will appear on the PlayStation 4. So my part is ending, but we have one other piece of information to share with everyone. I'll give the floor to the other Hashimoto to tell you about it. Well, Mr. Shinji Hashimoto, please take it away.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Shinji Hashimoto. I am the brand director for Final Fantasy at Square Enix. I am not brothers with Yoshihisa. Okay, today, I just have one thing to say. On the occasion of this presentation by Yoshihisa of the Luminous engine, and the announcement of the PlayStation 4 from Sony Computer Entertainment, I would also like to announce that we are preparing for development of a Final Fantasy title. Please be excited for E3 this year. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Hashimoto-san. The Luminous Studio demo running on PS4 further demonstrates the system's graphics and computational power. I would now like to welcome a very special partner and a personal friend. Over the years, Ubisoft has become an extension of the PlayStation family, and their support for our platforms has produced hit after hit. The Ubisoft team is truly pioneering a lot of next-generation gameplay, and I'm very excited by what they have to share with you tonight. Please welcome Ubisoft co-founder and CEO, Yves Guillemot.
Thank you. At E3 last year, I asked you all a question. Who really controls our cities, our information, and our lives? Thanks to PlayStation 4 and our next-gen titles, Watch Dogs, we have the answer. It will be all of you. Next-generation games blur the lines between the real and virtual worlds, more than ever before. Ubisoft development teams have been hard at work with the PlayStation 4 to make gaming experiences that are more connected, more immersive, and more interactive. We are creating games that will be played anywhere, anytime, across many different devices. Games that will bring friends and gaming communities closer together and let you collaborate to achieve amazing things. Games that are tailored to match your interests and can quickly adapt to all your needs. And we are using the PS4's quantum leap in power, graphics, and AI to construct deeper, richer, and more believable games. Players are going to be super excited by the PS4, and this platform will bring millions of new customers. Now, to give you an example of the kind of connected, immersive, and interactive experience, please welcome Jonathan Morin to tell you more about Watch Dogs.
Thank you very much, Eve. Hello, everyone. Finally back on stage to talk about Watch Dogs. Hyperconnectivity has changed us. It started with computers, mobile devices, and then we all got one of these. Everything about me and the ones I love are on this phone. Now, what's the next step? Smart cities. A system that manages entire cities to solve complex problems. Traffic jams, war against crime, power management. In Watch Dogs, you're going to control all of it. We've shown this at last year, E3. Everything is connected. But today, I want you all to discover that everyone is connected. I want you all to feel what it's like to control Aiden Pierce and wander around in Chicago, to invade everyone's privacy without them knowing. You're all about to discover that once you can tap into anyone's lives, anything can happen dynamically in front of you. So you're now going to enjoy a full-blown new live demo that will show you that exploring an open world has never been so engaging. So thanks to Nick to perform for you tonight. Enjoy.
Pierce has been identified as the man responsible for all attacks.
The heart of America. Feels like somewhere it must have skipped a beat. People haven't changed, but now everybody's broadcasting. And once you've seen it, all of it, how do you look away?
Yeah, no kidding. Drops once more, I'm gonna have to hunt. I'm not gonna let you get away with it.
Don't touch me. I'm warning you.
You don't get to ignore me.
Let me go!
And you think you're so special, huh?
Oh, don't! Oh.
Fuck off! Leave me alone!
911, please state your emergency. Please, you have to get the cops out here. This man just pulled out a gun and started shooting. Hurry! Insurance can't authorize initial search for suspect now.
Get away from me!
We're out on the wall, squad. We're on the suspect. Over.
Police, hands on your head!
Thanks, Jonathan and Eve. Watch Dogs on PlayStation 4 will be an amazing experience, and we have much more to share with you later this year. There's another partner I'd like to invite on stage tonight to help illustrate the tremendous support we have for PlayStation 4. This iconic developer is known for making some of the most immersive and creative games anywhere. And this is not only the first time they've been on stage for PlayStation, but the first time they've been on stage for any console. It's my pleasure to introduce Senior Vice President of Story and Franchise Development from Blizzard Entertainment, Chris Metzen.
Good evening. How are y'all doing? Good, good, good. Many of you are probably wondering why an old school PC game developer is kind of crashing the big Sony party tonight. I'm very pleased to share with you all that Blizzard and Sony have entered into a strategic partnership through which we will take over the world. Oh, if it were that easy. One of the things that people don't really know about Blizzard is that we actually got our start as a console game development shop. We cut our teeth on making games like Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, Blackthorn. Thank you. Old school. You could say that console game development really is just in our blood. We're very, very passionate about it. And all these years, we've really played on the PC side of the street. We have held a deep desire to get back into the mix and to bring console players, some of the home-cooked, imagination and adventure that we love to develop. The trick was always going to be how? How do we do it? We spent a lot of time thinking about which of our franchises, could translate to console. Which, if any, of our game products could make the jump while still maintaining their accessibility, their playability, their ease of use. We know, in partnership with Sony, that we have our game. So I'm very pleased tonight to announce the game that Blizzard Entertainment will be bringing to the PlayStation 4. Thank you. Diablo 3 will be available for the PlayStation 4 as well as the PlayStation 3. Actually, right now we have a version running on the PS3. It's amazing. It runs well. It looks great. We have painstakingly optimized our control schemes, anywhere from the entire user interface of the inventory system to player customization, even direct control over your player avatar. So, if some of you have played on the PC side, you're not mashing your mouse into your desk. Diablo 3 has really never been easier to play. One of the really fun things about this version of the game is we've developed a 4-player co-op mode that's full screen. You can kind of sidestep all of the split screen shenanigans. If one of the group decides to run back to town, it's just kind of a smooth, seamless play. You can play with your 3 best friends on a couch. It was kind of one of our standby lines. One couch to rule them all. To try and one way or another translate some of our gameplay experience from perhaps your home office to the living room. So we thought that would be very, very cool. Coming up, I think in the coming months, we're going to formally debut the game. We're going to have some video. We're going to have playable demos of the thing. We're going to answer all of your questions, I believe, at PAX East. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. We can't wait to show you how this thing looks. It's just been amazing to watch it come together. So I guess I'll keep it short and sweet. I thank you all for your time. We're very excited about this product. We're very excited about our partnership with Sony and what the future has in store for us. Hopefully that's world domination. So again, thanks guys. We appreciate the time being here and just to be here for this amazing event tonight. The PlayStation 4 is looking killer. We hope to see you all adventuring across the darkened fields of Tristram very soon. So thanks again, guys. Have a great night.
Yes, it's me again. Now, there's one more partner I'd like to invite on stage tonight. This publisher is known for making not just some of the biggest video games on the planet, but some of the biggest entertainment franchises in any medium on the planet. They are one of the driving forces behind turning video games into mainstream popular culture. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage the CEO of Activision Publishing, Eric Hirschberg.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you, Andy, for the kind words. But of course, we couldn't do what we do without companies like Sony building incredible platforms like the PS4 that have brought interactive entertainment into the living rooms of hundreds of millions of people around the world. Activision has supported every single one of Sony's platforms and has created some of the most iconic hits on each and every one of them. And our commitment to the PS4 will be no different. We plan on supporting the PS4 with multiple blockbuster titles from our best developers during the launch window. And we're looking forward to sharing more with you in the coming months. But what I can tell you, though, today is that our developers and our technology teams are uniformly really excited about how Sony is approaching the PS4. We're excited to be a part of bringing the next generation of great games to the next great gaming platform from Sony. Now, there is one developer in particular who we're working with, who we think has been absent from the PlayStation Nation for too long now. And we thought, what better way for us to show our support for the unveiling of the PS4 than to bring PlayStation gamers together with one of the best developers in the world that you haven't been able to play on a PlayStation for over a decade. And of course, I'm talking about the one and only Bungie. Last week in Seattle, we gave the world its first glimpse into our ambitious 10-year project together called Destiny. And Jason Jones, the visionary developer, co-founder of Bungie, and project director of Destiny, wanted to say a few words about why he's excited to bring Destiny to the PS4 and also to unveil a few more glimpses of in-engine footage here tonight for the first time. Take a look.
Hey everybody, it's great to be here. I want to tell you a little bit about what Bungie's been doing for the last few years. After Halo, we ask ourselves the question, what next? What's worth doing? When you have a studio with this much talent, what do you point it at? How could we take a genre that we know and love so well, the first-person shooter, and turn it on its head again? And our answer is Destiny. Bungie's next great FPS. In Destiny, we've created a fantastic new universe for players to explore, full of mystery and adventure. We've built a persistent online world where players grow and customize their characters. And we focused from the beginning, not just on the great competitive experience that players demand from a shooter, but to make sure that playing Destiny cooperatively with your friends was going to blow your mind. Destiny is going to be amazing on PlayStation 4. It's a great piece of gear. And we can't wait to see what PlayStation fans do when they set foot in our world for the first time.
Thank you. That makes 2 Jason Jones sightings inside of a week, so you'll hear from him again in 2025. Destiny is an ambitious project. It's what we're calling the first shared world shooter. It's something we're putting a lot of creativity and resources behind. We're very excited to bring it to the PlayStation 4. And to tell you a little bit more about it, it's now my pleasure to introduce some of the key leaders at Bungie. Andreas Jenkins, John T. Barnes, Marty O'Donnell, and Bungie's president, Harold Ryan.
Hello, PlayStation Nation. When Bungie became independent, we were really excited about bringing our games to a bigger audience. Our partnership with Activision, and now Sony, will allow us to do just that. Destiny is an ambitious and innovative game. It's a perfect fit for the PlayStation 4. Like the PlayStation 4, Destiny lets you access the content you love from multiple devices. And like the PlayStation 4, Destiny is designed to entertain you for years to come. We're proud to announce today that at the launch of Destiny, both the PS4 and the PS3 versions will be available. And even better, we'll be creating exclusive, playable content just for the PlayStation community. We look forward to sharing more details with you in the coming months. And from all of us at Bungie, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Needless to say, we're ecstatic to bring Destiny and exclusive content to the PlayStation 4, and we know the Bungie fans will love it. To all of you who have joined us today, whether in the room or via live stream, thank you so much for being here. The arrival of PlayStation 4 presents an enormous opportunity to dramatically evolve the gameplay experience. From intensified power to enhanced social capabilities, to bigger, better, and more immersive gameplay, and a simple adaptive interface, we believe PlayStation 4 proves that we have more to offer than ever before. We look forward to continuing the conversation and demonstrating why PlayStation is the best place to play. Thank you very much for your time, and good night.
To create are things that people have never experienced, magical moments that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
I would like to make a small addition to the team.
Rub-a-dub style. Rub-a-dub style. Dub vibrations in my brain. Dub vibrations in my
Holy balls, Greg.
When's it gonna start? The screen just went black for 2 hours. I didn't even know. Oh, I mean, it was, did I? Oh my gosh, Damon.
That was something. That was twice as long as I thought it would be.
It was about 4 times as long as Podcast Beyond predicted it to be.
And oh well.
I'm talking about it. Don't worry. I'll go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to IGN's live stream here. Obviously, a big part of PlayStation 4.
I think I'm back now.
Yeah, you're back now. Can we hear him? We're good.
Yeah.
Oh man, Damon. We thought the stream was gonna be what, an hour tops.
Yeah, and that maybe like the last 15 minutes would be about PlayStation 4.
Yeah, we were a bit wrong in some of our predictions here at the beginning of this show.
It was all about PlayStation 4.
All about PlayStation 4.
2 hours of PlayStation 4.
I like how I was like, they won't talk about the specs of the system, and then they come out and that's the first thing they talk about. Like, I've made Marble Madness. Let me tell you about the GUI processor we got in this bad boy. Oh my gosh.
Tell me, I want to know, first of all, your 3 takeaways.
Infamous is back.
Infamous, of
hip,
course.
hip,
Yeah.
hooray. 2 sons, the sexiest ever Nate Fox from Sucker Punch out there. It's the only time I yelled during this whole thing.
Yeah.
We were watching all intently, like adults, And then, yeah, sure enough, Nate Fox comes out there. That sexy bald head. I had to scream. I had to cheer that it was back. That it was Infamous too, because we'd been like, I know I'm droning on a lot of
also.
Yeah, exactly. It's Infamous. What's it called? I forgot. And I said at the beginning of this. Infamous Second Son.
Second Son.
Oh man, but I was worried it wouldn't be Infamous. I thought we were going somewhere in a different direction. There it is.
I thought it'd be Prototype 3.
Beyond. I've been predicting when I talk to people about this what Sony needed to do come out right. They needed to put, a punch in the face, kind of show that what they were doing. I didn't expect Blizzard, and I know it's it's one of those things where
Colin says he called that.
No, Colin's calling the fact that it's on PS3. We had been talking forever that Diablo 3 would be making a comeback. What? Who is this? Oh my goodness. It's an X-Bot, Ryan McCaffrey. Hey, how are you?
Hello, Greg Miller. Malfunction for me today.
Ryan McCaffrey, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be
Ryan,
here.
were you watching the stream downstairs?
As much as I could. The PlayStation.com stream, over 3 million people on it. The IGN stream nuked the site at one point right in the beginning. So the quality was a little tough. I mean, I haven't gotten a great look at some of the trailers.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go back.
I tweeted a few times that, yes, the PlayStation had declared war pretty much on the internet. That everything was going down. We were going to multiple places looking around for it, trying to find information, and it was destroyed everywhere. So, yeah.
Well, so you missed towards the end. Maybe, I don't know if you saw it, but Bungie was out there.
Yep. No, I knew exactly when Eric Hirschberg, the suit from Activision, took the stage. He was in Bungie when I was there to see Destiny in Seattle last week. I knew right away, like, they're gonna come out and talk a little Destiny right now.
And that was the other big thing, right? You were talking about 3 takeaways. For me personally, yeah, obviously Infamous Second Son. Then the fact that Diablo was there. That was kind of almost like the Valve move from E3 a couple years ago, where I was like, what? Like, I didn't expect these guys to be out there. And then, yeah, Destiny being like, that was a PlayStation conference, and they showed Master Chief on it. They panned over a Master Chief statue, and it's like, holy crap.
That is pretty significant.
We're taking all your exclusives, Microsoft. They're ours now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so is it a big deal that Destiny was sort of revealed as on a Sony console first?
No, I think it's just because they had their event first. I mean, right away, as soon as they talked about, we're going to have exclusive PlayStation content for Destiny, I thought, I mean, that's great, absolutely. I do think, my prediction is that Microsoft on their next-gen Xbox will get their own exclusive content. I think it's going to be like, hey, everybody play in your own playgrounds and play happy and have fun. But no, I mean, it's great that I'm just happy for the diehard PlayStation folks like yourself will finally get to dive into a Bungie game, because they are a really talented group, and they've got all sorts of talent and pretty much the endless Activision money to put into Destiny, and there's a lot to be excited about for it.
Yeah.
So that was a huge event. That was 2 hours of PlayStation 4. So it's Microsoft's move.
It is. Then Microsoft has, I guarantee they're taking a lot of notes from this event, and there's a lot for them to rebut here. I mean, there's Sony. I thought it was great that they came right out and just said, here are the specs. We're not going to talk about a fancy processor and not give you any. They were like, it's an x86 chip. It's got 8 gigs of GDDR5 memory. It's like everything that we'd read about.
Sounds legit.
Stay with me, Greg.
What does Charles say about all this? I don't even know what these words mean.
It means it's really fast memory, and that's a good thing for developers. But it was funny how they spun. I mean, they were like, yeah, Cell was pretty cool, but we're doing a total 180 from that to make it as easy for the developers as possible.
Well, that was what they were saying, right? That it's this game it's designed with them in mind. They talked to them, brought them on.
And that's good.
They have to avoid the problems with they can't be Skyrim.
Exactly, that was
cannot do Skyrim.
Cannot be Skyrim again.
Well, that was a big factor for Microsoft's success with the 360 was that the 360 was a very PC-like architecture, and it was extremely easy for developers to work with, and the tools were very good, and so developers sort of naturally gravitated toward the Xbox, and so games the development tended to lead on the 360, which just only helped the Xbox become, really rise to prominence this generation. So it's great to see that. I mean, Sony was like, it's a giant, awesome PC in a little box. Here you go. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, speaking of box, though, they took a couple jabs at Xbox a couple times earlier on. They were like, we didn't just make a box. we made this entertainment.
I think there was a Netflix joke in there somewhere too.
Yeah, in 2 hours you lose it all. What stands out when we're talking about comparing it to Xbox was the new XMB, the new interface, right? Very, very Windows 80, very like a Windows phone with like these colorful boxes separated over here.
I find it very interesting that they're getting away from the gamertag PSN mentality.
Right.
Like, hey, it's your friends. It's going to be your real name on there.
Import your friends from your social networks. Like that makes perfect sense.
No Twitter, though, weirdly. I guess I'm wondering if Microsoft has the Twitter deal.
There were so many weird little things in there. They were like, one of the quotes I had here is most likely current social networks, as far as like what social networks is importing. Yeah. I've been fighting autocorrect all the time, but they said that they talked about the share function, taking these clips and uploading them, right?
Yeah, very cool.
No YouTube icon. Just a Ustream icon. That's all they ever, and they never said where it was going, and then they were like, and we've uploaded the Killzone thing to Facebook. And it's like, okay, but how is this being hosted, and where is it being hosted?
Very good point.
Were they streaming through Ustream today?
Yeah, Ustream.
So I wonder if that was just like a deal like with Ustream.
Possible, yeah. I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
Well, you're right, Greg. I mean, watch Microsoft come out and have something with YouTube and Twitter now.
Right. Yeah, that's how they broke it down. And I didn't catch. I don't know if anybody can tell us. Of course, be part of the show. Tweet at IGN #PS4 now, I believe.
Yes.
We switched over to the PS4 hashtag, and let us know when they showed all the and of course they did the Greg Miller thing that I've been saying to do. And of course you'll have Netflix and Amazon, but again, I didn't see the YouTube app in there, so I wonder what the deal is with all that stuff.
Thumbs up to Sony for really keeping a 2-hour focus on the games. Like, hey, we are dead
I gotta say,
serious.
Greg Miller called that one.
We are dead serious about making this a kick-ass games machine.
Right.
Exactly.
They did what I mean. The only showing of PlayStation Move, right, was Media Molecule, and it's one of those when those guys come out and they're like, we're going to show you how to create something. You're like, all right, Media Molecule, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And
I thought that was the weak point.
Nope, totally agree with you. I was like, no. And once we got past the sculpting, and we're just like, oh, now he's
playing the drums.
I was like, all right. Oh, no.
The Blizzard thing was a big surprise to me because I thought Blizzard's been talking about a console Diablo 3. They've been very publicly just teasing the world about it. Like, hey, we have a console version up and running. Maybe we'll make it someday.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised that went to Sony seemingly exclusively.
I don't think they said it's exclusive.
Yeah, I don't think they went out of the way to say that.
I really thought Microsoft would back up the Brinks truck and lock in the Blizzard game, but hopefully that'll be a multi-platform thing. I mean, I've already played Diablo 3 on my PC. It's a great game, but it's awesome that it's going to go out to a broader console audience.
Yeah. Exciting to see more Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
It's a game we still don't know much about. You and I were watching it, right? And we're trying to figure out what exactly was happening. Like, he was walking around, probable crime. So
everything has an icon above it.
He's a superhero and he can hack anything, and that's fine or whatever. But then he gets chased off, and then it was a contract. So the contract was on him trying to catch that criminal, and then of course it showed Pixel FD up there, who is a frag doll. So that's showing multiplayer. I don't know. It was all over the place as usual.
Of all genres, actually, Watch Dogs is a great example. Like, supposedly, I'm sure it'll probably be coming to PS3 as well, but. Gosh, you'll so want to play that on PS4 with all that extra memory, all that extra processing power in an open world game. Right. You just got to figure there are going to be some serious, I don't want to say compromises, but let's, I guess, spin it the other way, the more optimistic way. Say the PS4 version is going to be so much more superior to the current gen console version. Just because of all that extra horsepower. I'm really curious to see the difference between those two versions.
Microsoft is also losing exclusivity on the next Jonathan Blow game. Well, not really losing it, but his last
Jonathan
game.
Blow, and I want you to know that these are the games.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, with all due respect to Jonathan Blow, I don't think anybody at Microsoft's going to be losing any sleep over that one because it's it's a downloadable title.
Get me Jonathan Blow's people.
But that game did look really cool because what's interesting about that is The Witness has been announced for some time.
Yeah, a long time.
I've actually had colleagues in the industry who've seen it, who've done coverage on the game and seen it on PC, and so Jonathan Blow has been very non-committal to this point, saying, well, I think I was going to put this on X, because he did say it was going to come to 360 originally, and he was like, well, I don't think the system can quite handle what I want to do here, and so like, oh, okay, it's a PC game, and now Sony comes in and says, all right, cool, we're locking down, we've got your back, Jonathan Blow, for a window of time. So that's great. I mean, Braid was actually a fantastic game that was too smart for me. I couldn't finish it.
Later on,
Yes, but this looks almost it's like Braid meets Portal almost in
Yeah.
a way from just the vibe I got
A lot of
from
people
the
were
trailer.
getting missed vibes from it as
Yeah,
well, too.
a lot of mistalk, So here's what we said before when we're going into this, Damon. I said, I guess not we. I said that what I wanted to know was what Sony was going to show us to get us excited and say you needed to own this. I'll ask you guys, but I'll answer. So I mean, what did they show you that really stands out for you that makes you want it? For me personally, it was totally making online seem like it's going to work really well. The fact that I'm going to buy this game and it's going to be downloading while I play it is a huge step, rather than I want to buy this game and I'm going to wait all night long for it to download.
We've been doing that on Steam for a while, though.
I know. Oh no. I know. I'm not at all taking away from what
Yeah.
PC gaming do, but for Sony to step forward and do that.
Yeah, I'll say they showed. I'm more excited about what they showed of the console than the specific games that we saw.
Sure.
And they showed a lot of the features that I really hope are on the next Xbox. I agree. Just like the sharing capabilities and the spectating, all that stuff sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends, they can stay. I don't need them to play my game for me.
Yeah.
That thing,
that
I mean,
part's
it's
weird.
cool. It's a cool feature. But yeah, I agree completely. I mean, being able to record anything I've been doing and just upload it with a quick touch, like just whether it's a hilarious glitch or it's it's a great kill in a multiplayer game, that is definitely something that's. The question is, I mean, is that going to go to YouTube? Is that going to go to the proprietary PlayStation Network? There are certainly questions that need to be answered, but if there's an easy way to share that stuff, like, could I tweet that out? Could I tweet out like a Vine-style clip? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be very cool. Is there anyone we want to
Throw around
send
the
up?
shoe.
I will be your messenger.
Do you need
Goldie might be Goldie. See if Goldfarb has time, send him up.
We'll go for me, Ryan Clements.
Ryan Clements would be a good one, and a podcast beyond person.
Yeah.
But I
We
will
talk about
say,
Square.
as the resident Xbox guy at IGN, I feel like Sony really brought an A effort here and is very serious
really
about getting that core gamer back. Those guys that have pretty well turned to Xbox Live, and they're playing their Call of Duty largely on Xbox and Halo, and Microsoft has a tall order in front of them for their event whenever they decide to do it.
It was really smart of Sony probably to get out there first.
Yeah.
And to have such a big event, such a long event where they showed us so much, so many games. I think it was really smart on their part. And now I'm just going to be like, every day I'm going to be like, when is Microsoft going to show us what they have planned?
We'll let you know as soon as we hear.
Thank you.
Thank
Right
you,
here on
gentlemen.
IGN.com.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
Send up Goldfarb or
Clements.
Clements.
I don't even care. If you can dig out Chris Roper, send him up.
So much to talk about, Greg.
I know.
I mean, I have notes of stuff to talk about. You have notes of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we have all sorts of stuff.
We have IGN fans to check in with. We have David Jaffe to check in with. We've got questions from Twitter. Where do we go? I don't even know.
I have a text out to Colin Moriarty, but I'm imagining
need
to
to
try to call into him. I'm imagining the Hammerstein Ballroom being inundated right now. Another big thing for me was the Gaikai stuff. We talked about it. It's very interesting the way they talked about it, trying to make the fastest network, or fastest gaming network in the world, and having be able to not even download the games you want to play on, like for demos now in the store, right? Oh, this game looks interesting. Pop in and just play it immediately, not even have to download anything. Oh, that's what you were doing, Mr. David. Now we can scrub through at a moment's notice, Damon, of the entire
What are we
thing.
going to do? Oh, we have the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't connect this. But yeah, the Gaikai stuff, super interesting. And then the Vita too, right? They were actually talking about what we were talking about as far as trying to make the Vita this hand-in-hand system. This is how they were. They didn't go the way of announcing Vita games for it, but they showed it playing the PlayStation 4 game, the Knack.
Yeah,
just Knack, not the Knack. Knack.
Their term was everything everywhere.
Yeah.
They want you to be able to play every PlayStation game from 4, 3, 2, all the way back down to PlayStation 1 on your Vita. Right.
Yeah,
that's like the goal.
And again, though, I was yelling at people on Twitter about this. They were very clear to say our end goal is that you can play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I gotta drag it across on any system or on this thing. They weren't saying like right off the bat that's what's gonna happen or that. Oh, Jesus, I'm too stupid to run Macs. Anybody ever tell you that? And that's bad too.
What are you trying to figure?
I'm trying to drag it across. Oh, I'm dragging the top bar. There it is. Command F. Thank you, Dave. There we go. So this is the whole thing, whole stream, right? Dave doesn't seem happy with what's happening.
Is there a part you're trying to reference right now?
No, I was just trying to get it set up so that when it's ready to do something, it's ready to do something. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. There we are. Now we can do everything we're talking about. There, playing Knack, Vita, PlayStation 4.
Yeah, what did you
Streaming
think?
enough.
Did you think of that game, Knack?
I mean, it's too hard to tell right now, right? I mean, it looks interesting. It kind of looks more like a Vita game than it does a PlayStation 4 game or a PlayStation 3 game that I would really think about. Just the way that it's playing, it looks like it's more like a Ratchet and Clank, Secret Agent Clank sneaking around. It reminds me even right now a little bit of Warp. You're not warping, obviously, but that's the kind of visual style I'm getting to. I know you did, Dave. That's why I threw you a bone. Because I hate Warp.
Before this game, they showed that tech demo, the million object.
Right. Oh, I can't wait for the million pebble game. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, and then the character in Knack also seems to be using that sort of.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard, George, Rich, PlayStation just blew everyone's mind with a second screen. Right. If somebody wants to watch TV, you can play it on your Vita.
Good day for you, huh?
Yeah. No. Well, I'm just happy to have people watching the show.
Yeah. I thought it was a good, good presentation. It was exactly what I had hoped they would show, which is a lot of games.
Right.
Just show me games, even a little, conceptual stuff. That's okay.
Something's wrong. See, now here's my problem. Here's my problem is that they don't interrupt. Like, no one can hear what he's saying, and they're just like, waiting for you say, hey, turn on your mic.
Yeah. Hi. Rich was just saying, hey, Rich was just saying hello. Hello.
I'm sure we picked
a very
up a little
lengthy
bit.
hello.
Yeah, I mean, all I was saying was I thought it was a really great first presentation for Sony. I really liked how they left a lot off the table because it makes me excited for E3. It makes me excited for the coming months, and I really do hope that. I think one of Nintendo's biggest flaws with Wii U was they said something at E3 2011, then they just were quiet for like a year. So I'm really hoping we see Sony every month, hopefully. Just like here's a little more, here's a little more. You want a little update on this game or that game, or let's see some more Knack. I mean, and that was the coolest part was you showed me something quite brand new like Knack, and that's cool looking. Like I want to see more of that, and that was great. A lot of good core Sony franchises represented. Plus, we saw some great third-party support, something brand new from Capcom. That's cool.
Yeah, right.
And it looked really good. Yeah, Watch Dogs, that was nice.
Yeah, Watch Dogs did look nice.
I mean, again, though, I think the biggest questions, at least in my mind, are still on the table. It's like, well, first off, what's this thing going to look like?
Yeah, they didn't show the system.
I was a little surprised by that.
I honestly forgotten all about it until right now.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like. What's weird is we kind of had a release time frame, though, and we knew they gave us a lot of great details about the cloud stuff, but I kind of want to know what this thing's going to look like. It's going to fit in my little space there. It's going to look like a George Foreman grill. And then I think the other big question, of course, is like, especially when it comes to that Vita and PS4 integration and everything, like how much is it going to cost me?
Right.
Like how much do I need to have all these things? And of course, if I really want to take advantage of all that dual screen stuff, the Sony tablets or whatever, I'm going to have to buy that, and I'm going to have to buy my Vita, and and I'm going to have to buy this and that and the other thing. So, pretty expensive if you want to get all that assembled. But if you do, I think, it's kind of like...
the question is, how much do you already have?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like how many... they said tablets. I mean, they said apps and tablets. I know they're Sony and they make tablets, but the whole part of PlayStation Mobile is maybe one day you see Kratos on the iPad.
And this is the crazy clever thing is like it's
crazy
just
clever.
Like, crazy clever. It's just like Apple, right? If you have already invested in a couple of their pieces, as you add more components to this sort of Apple world, suddenly everything is much cooler. So I think that's Sony's game is like, maybe you already own a Vita and you're sitting going, what am I going to do with this thing? Oh, now all your PS4 games are now on your Vita. And well, how cool
all your
is
PS4 games belong to Vita.
Yeah,
I was surprised to find out there's a sensor bar.
Yeah.
It's for the controller?
Yeah, you can read the controller like that, it was saying, but I'm assuming it'll be used for all sorts of PlayStation movie stuff and whatever. Movie stuff, not move.
It was very interesting. I mean, they were very heavy on the share stuff, but after that, a lot of details on the Horizon somewhere. I saw on Twitter a lot of people going, well, where's my price and all that.
But I told you, you weren't going to get that.
Yeah.
Come on. They gave us the window, but they did not give us the price or
But I don't count that. I knew we were getting a window. I'm talking about a release day. Like when you've been downstairs. Are pre-orders up and running? Have people already started doing that yet?
I don't know. We haven't seen any of that yet.
I mean, like I said, the internet's been just keeled over, dead from this thing.
Should we look on Amazon?
We're starting to gain some basic sort of like press releases, just like on Destiny and that sort of thing. I thought Diablo 3 showing up was kind of cool. Blizzard was sort of a surprise to me. There we go. Right
Look at
there,
that. You like
right
that?
there.
That's a Greg Miller joint.
Segue right there.
Bam.
No PS4 on Amazon yet.
Okay. Oh, but Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, so I thought it was great. Well done, Sony. Ball's sort of in Microsoft's court, and then we'll see if Nintendo can muster up enough exclusives to really stay.
Like obviously, obviously, Microsoft hasn't come out now with their system, but Nintendo already has its latest system out. Like, is a response required from them? Or
I feel like they have an uphill climb, like no doubt about it. I mean, they had an uphill climb, I think, before Sony even said one word. You know, it's just that they've been struggling. The question is if Sony and Microsoft and these guys come in that sort of like $400 and $500 price point, and then to do your dual screen, you know, full capabilities, you're talking an extra couple $100 for a Vita or tablet or whatnot. And suddenly Nintendo, despite the fact that Wii U was seemingly overpriced, is now the cheapest console in the conversation.
Yeah.
That still doesn't mean that there's necessarily demand, right? You've got to have the games there for people to actually want to spend any money on your system. However, that's, I think, a smaller burden for Nintendo, at least, than it was, if they were facing like consoles that were right in their price range, which they are currently with 360 and PS3. I think they still have a lot to prove. They still need to show me Mario Kart. They need to show me games that I haven't seen before too. Smash Brothers, yeah, exactly. I think Nintendo
I know.
They can do some stuff, but I think they still have a high burden to bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things I think Sony does too. Like we talked about in the beginning. I think a great presentation, showed a lot of stuff to get you excited about it, but they didn't leave you with Nathan Drake, and they didn't leave you with Sackboy, and they didn't leave you with Kratos. So like right now, the franchise that they're standing on is Killzone, which looked beautiful. It had a great presentation. Yeah, but it's also like, is that enough right now? Like you figure they've done what they needed to, right? Where they're focusing right now. Your first introduction to it is it can make amazing graphics. It does amazing graphics. It is a second screen experience. It's got this new streaming thing. Online's gonna be cool. Interface isn't a goddamn mess of an XMD. But now you let us all marinate and talk about that forever, and then at E3, I guess you come out and you pair the fact that it's going to be this amount of money with here's Uncharted 4 or something like that.
I mean, you figure they have at least one, if not two more showings, right? You probably have E3, and then maybe you have some sort of fall conference where you like price, final date. So, they have plenty of time. They came out early. They came out first in terms of Microsoft and Sony. I think, and there's a lot of promises and a lot of potential there and a lot of sort of like, slideshow with lofty dreams and you can make your dreams and all this stuff, and that's all great because they've got time to prove it. And as long as they prove it and they follow through on the sort of vision that they outlined today, I think it's great. And I mean, they outlined a great vision, but they also showed us, Killzone. Like they didn't just say Killzone logo.
Good point.
They were like, here is this game, here is what's going on. I mean, obviously, was this being played live?
Yes.
Was it?
Colin Moriarty says for sure, and a whole bunch of other people on Twitter saying,
Good. That's great then. You always wonder with these demos.
Oh yeah, well, especially Killzone, right? I mean, we all remember Killzone's original debut. Oh yeah, that's great.
But yeah, I mean, I think they did exactly what they should have done today, and that's cool. And yeah, there are plenty of questions, but that's what if if they'd outlined it all today, then what? At E3, I'd be like, no,
get off the stage!
Yeah, exactly.
Where's PlayStation All-Stars 2?
Yeah, no Kaz though. Where was Kaz?
He was very careful not to say Ridge Racer and stay far away.
He's waiting for E3, I suppose.
No, and also, Killzone Shadowfall.
Oh why miss that marketing opportunity?
Killzone 4!
PlayStation 4?
They'll take the A and Shadow and turn it into 4
there
later.
You go. They'll figure it out. It's a working title.
Don't worry. They got you guys.
Well, thank you, Rich.
Yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
a lot, Rich.
Been a pleasure.
Good job, guys. It's been awesome watching you guys.
Good.
So,
we didn't even do that much.
Yeah. See you guys.
Send in another guest if anyone wants to join us.
You know who we should check in with?
Colin Moriarty.
Well, yeah,
He's
but
on the phone.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh, what's Colin saying? Oh, he says call me. All right, let's call
Colin
him.
is our editor on the ground there.
All right,
at the event.
anybody in the room, we need to turn on this microphone. We need the phone microphone. They say that's okay?
I don't know if they're saying that's okay. I can't see the room anymore.
All right, yay! Thank you, voice of God.
You realize that window back there is just gone now?
Yeah, I know. It's removable. The wall's removable. How's that sound, Alex?
Yeah, we're doing it.
All right, so we're calling Colin Moriarty, IGN editor, at the event.
Oh, you gonna drink a few? Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Am I live on the air, Greg?
Yeah, you're live on the air. Is your refrigerator running?
I have no idea what you just said.
All right.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you? What's the scene right now in the Hammerstein Ballroom?
It was cool. The show was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, don't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot longer. They showed a lot more games.
Right.
We didn't see the hardware, which is a little disappointing. No price, not surprisingly. We know it's coming out in 2013, which is exciting, at least in the United States. Probably Japan too. But I was really impressed by the fact that we saw a lot of first-party and third-party games. I thought it was a good mix. How do you guys feel about it?
I think everyone is really impressed with it.
Yeah. How good did Killzone look in real life?
No, we were watching it on a, like sort of a low res, internet stream. We wanted to know how it looked there.
Okay. I mean, Killzone looks extraordinary. And I was speculating on Twitter whether it was going to be, whether this was in-game, in-engine, and it clearly was once they started playing. And I think that was probably the sharpest looking game we saw. Maybe Watch Dogs was pretty comparable too. But the game looked awesome. I know you're very excited probably about it. Second Son. I know I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I know you're excited about it too. Don't try to push it all on me.
No, I know. I'm super excited about it too. I thought Dave Fox's little speech beforehand was really good. I saw Steve Butts kind of making fun of me a little bit on Twitter, saying that was kind of like a speech written for me. I kind of agree. And even though I'm not a racing fan, the new Evolution game looks really cool too. And what I'm interested about with that game is how does this cross over with what Felicity's already doing with Gran Turismo 6? Because that seems like such a not Evolution racer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. When they first showed it, I started to write the tweet that it was they were doing something with Gran Turismo, and then they immediately put up Evolution's thing. I was like, oh man, like a realistic racer. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that they're known for per se, but the rumors have been circulating that they had kind of assimilated some closed racing pedigree studios in Britain, and as far as talent's concerned, so it's not surprising that you see them kind of working on something like that. And then, I think the biggest disappointment from the show was Square Enix's presentation, because we saw that demo we had already seen almost a year ago. Plus, I thought it was a little lame for someone to come on stage and be like, be excited for E3. It's like, what was really the point of that? That seems like kind of break up.
Real quick, Colin, he did ask you politely to please be excited for E3.
It's true.
He's like, please. And I was like, okay, I'll be excited, but what about, tell me, if you're telling me about a new Final Fantasy game, what about the Final Fantasy game that you haven't finished that's been in development for like 7 years? That's the one I'm more interested in knowing about.
Versus 13.
But it was cool to see. Blizzard up there. It was cool to see Bungie up there. There was a lot of really cool stuff going on. So, it was a lot more dynamic than I thought it was going to be, and I was pleasantly surprised by basically, most of what we saw. The major question now for me is, how much is this thing going to cost?
Right.
So.
Sure. So what's next for you? Like right now, what are you doing right now as you leave the ballroom?
Wait, what am I doing right now?
Yeah, what's next for you? What's the rest of your night look like?
Well, I'm interviewing Shuhei Yoshida in just a few minutes.
Nice.
We just did a PlayStation conversation, Keza and I, about the software, so that'll be up on IGN soon. Scott Lowe and I still do a PlayStation conversation about the hardware.
That should be a short one.
I'm sorry.
I said that should be a short one. I was making a buffoonery.
Oh, okay, you're making it funny.
Yeah.
And then there's a roundtable with the first-party studios that Kez is attending right now. I'm going to try to sneak up in there as well if I can, but everything's kind of being pushed back because of the video production with the PlayStation conversations and the Shuhei interview. So we're going to prioritize that. We're going to kind of split up our forces and see what we can do. But there'll be plenty of content up, of course, later on IGN. So
great, Colin. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Greg. I will see you when I get back to San Francisco.
Take care, Colin.
Beyond!
Yeah.
He's
All
a
right,
young
now,
buck. I like him. Okay. Everybody sliding to the right.
Sliding to the right, and we're going to be joined by a young Mitch Dyer.
Dyer. Breaking out the blazer. I like that.
Well, I got to look classy for my mom.
Looking very sharp.
So she's not ashamed of my Ninja
She
Turtle
only
shirt.
watches PlayStation conferences or PlayStation content, so doesn't see all that often.
What were you watching downstairs?
I was a little bit. Caught a little bit of your conversation with Colin. A little bit of stuff with Rich.
No, we don't mean us. We mean the
stream.
stream.
Down to the whole thing. The event, the PlayStation event.
Yeah, the
Yes,
real
it was.
thing, not us chuckleheads.
Yeah, I was writing news for IGN.
What did you think?
So you guys were talking about Killzone a little bit. That was the standout demo for me. Again, you spoke a little bit about this. I do wonder how legit that demo was.
You don't think they've learned their lesson on that one? Like,
we would hope so.
we would hope so.
I know, but I feel like that was a really impressive demo, and above all else, I feel like that's representative of something for that series that it really, really needed, right? Like we saw the beginning of the demo was a lot of just walking. It wasn't just go action.
Yeah, we're walking.
It's almost like Half-Life, where you're in this utopian society, and you're just walking around. There are civilians everywhere. It's pretty. And the other thing that stands out is obviously the visuals. It's white. It's clinical. There's blues.
Yeah.
It's all
not
very
a Killzone.
pretty.
Killzone has been always criticized for being such a brown game. Jeff Gerstmann put it best on Twitter while this was on. He's like, it looks like they're invading a Ratchet and Clank game. Like it's so bright.
It really
so
does.
colorful.
Yeah.
And then this happens.
Yeah, but even when it goes out of control, you still see a lot of stuff that's new for Killzone.
Sure, a lot of shiny color, like a nice cityscape.
Yeah, and you're
like
flying through the city. It's like it's large scale. You're going places, and yeah, the buildings are all very
like almost, I'm trying to think of a city that has white buildings, Greg, but I can't.
Seattle.
There you go,
Seattle's
like Seattle.
very
Oh, it's just
futuristic and
known
nice
for
like
having
that.
lots of white buildings.
Mirror's Edge, wherever Mirror's Edge was set.
Yeah,
All right, there you go. You
well, no,
jerks.
like Hong Kong. Hong Kong is like very, the buildings are all very modern and everything looks fancy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that.
One of the features of the PlayStation 4 that I liked a lot was the suspend function.
Right. Yeah, they talked
Just
about
sort
it.
of
You
put
can
it to
just
sleep in a save state and jump right back into your game.
That's so nice.
right
It's
from
like
there.
an
I know.
F5 on my PC when I save anywhere.
Dude, it's gotten
It's
kind of
good.
ridiculous. Like, you know, you turn on your Xbox 360 or your PlayStation 3, you wait for it to boot up, you gotta
Yeah.
go to your game, you gotta wait for the game to load up,
Yeah.
you gotta go through some logos, you
Gotta
gotta
update the firmware, gotta update the
it's just like,
software.
you're like several minutes before you actually get
Yeah.
into your game. So I like that
It's
feature
nice.
a lot.
It'll be it'll be interesting to see how it all works, right? Because I worry about like on the Vita you can suspend your game or whatever, you can jump out, but then you still if you jump into certain apps or other games, then you lose that suspended state. I'd hope that PlayStation 4 can get around that state. Go.
We were talking to some with Ryan McCaffrey about now, like, what does Microsoft do?
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft's in a really interesting position, right? Now they have seen what Sony has done. They know that Sony has, okay, we have the hardware specs. We don't have the visual of the console. We don't have a price, obviously. It's a little early for that.
Yeah.
We do have strong first-party software. We do have strong second-party software. We do have strong third-party software. We have a lot of games, a lot of really great-looking games from, Ubisoft. Like Watch Dogs looked incredible. Again, Killzone, obviously great. Knack, is that the...
Yeah,
I kept hearing it as Mac, and I was like, okay. There's a lot of cool stuff. Like this stuff is really interesting. They have the cross-platform stuff, the Vita streaming. Microsoft sees all this, and now they're in a position to say, okay, how do we match this and then exceed it? And they have to. If Microsoft is going to come out in a month and say, okay, here's our console, and just kind of show it without showing why Destiny is going to be better on Durango or whatever they end up calling it, what they have lined up with, maybe Call of Duty, other third-party software. Like Microsoft has to come out swinging.
And see, that's for me, that's what's going to happen, right? They have to come out and have something Halo related, or something Gears related, or something Call of Duty,
first-party
some
thing.
huge franchise.
New
That's
IP with Black Tusk, maybe Fable from Lionhead, something.
Fable,
Something
yeah.
that people will be able to say, okay, this is what's going to define the next Xbox.
Right.
Like we saw today with PlayStation.
Well, interesting, a lot going on. We're going to check in with David Jaffe, so you go away.
Okay.
He doesn't like you. He said several times.
Did he?
Not a fan of Mitch Dyer.
Well,
it's just the Canadians.
not
He's
many people
a,
are.
he's not a fan of
Yeah, it's not really
Canadians.
you.
Not a lot of people are. I like
It's just your race. That is
Thank you for having me.
Canadian.
Enjoy the rest of y'all's show.
We will.
Thanks, Vince.
Say hi to Goldfarb for me.
All right, so we're going to
Skype. All the things have been turned off from what I've been told.
Here we go.
And Jaffe supposedly turned his off too, so don't try to do it anywhere.
Is he waiting for us? Is he ready to
He
be Skyped?
Yeah, he's all set. I'm sure he's watching, he's hanging out, he's having a great time. All right, we're Skyping in. Tilt this so we look good. Look at us. Hello. What's not a picture? You can move.
No, I stand very still, Greg. Do not
You
move.
kind of did the pose. You're not gonna answer? Look at that. That's his famous David Jaffe picture. Let me tweet him again. Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
Hello. Oh, progressive. How are you, Mr. Jaffe? Hello.
Nope.
Wait, do we not hear him out here? Anything? They hear him in there through the stream?
We don't hear him in here either.
Okay. We got internet connection problems.
There's a problem. Okay.
With the internet connection between you, hold on. We're trying to get the call back. No, look at Skype. This is what I want out of my games. I want them to. And
Yeah,
this is why I don't like
you
PC
fix it.
gaming. You fix it yourself. I don't have time. I'm sorry. He'll be back here. Don't worry. Anyways, Jaffe will be here in a second. He's a funny guy. Dame, look at your notes. I love it.
It's their like first grader notes.
Yeah.
Another feature I'm interested in: play a game while you download it.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And I know, Ryan pointed it out when I said that. Oh, we've been doing that on Steam. Get out of here with your PC gaming. That's what it's about.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I know. No, that's an awesome. I mean, for me, what I'm impressed about walking away from it. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, Infamous Second Son for me is a reason why I'd buy that right away. And God, if that can be a launch game, can you imagine? Oh, hey.
Hey, dude.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey, good. I guess we dropped you for a second there, but am I coming through good?
Yeah, we see you now. In fact, you're coming through so clearly, we can read the whiteboard behind you about your secret game.
Awesome.
No, I'm kidding. I can't see that.
That's my press conference today.
What did you think of this Sony press conference? You've gone out on a limb a few times. You said that consoles are dead. You don't want anything to do with them anymore.
Harsh words.
I don't know if I said they were dead, but I did say. Well, I didn't.
I know. I'm joking around. I didn't curse.
I do stand behind the idea that I think that consoles. If you look at the success of PS2 as sort of the the pinnacle of sort of a single console having, mass appeal and sort of affecting large numbers of people. I don't think we're going back to that.
Sure.
I just think it's too fragmented. But I think console gaming is great and alive and well, and I think the press conference shows it. I just don't think it's going to be, the same kind of, impact in terms of just sheer numbers as it used to be, because there's too many other options now. But I thought it was a really good press conference. I thought, I thought the beginning was more interesting than the middle and the end.
Sure.
I really liked the, I liked very much, actually, the online stuff, the service stuff. Since it is launching in 2013, I'm assuming what they were showing when they were showing like interface for the social aspects and stuff, that looked pretty good, like a really nice design interface, and I thought that was really cool. I think Cerny doing a platformer is always welcome. I always get, my business hat goes on for whatever that's worth when I think about cartoony platformers anytime post 2003 in terms of just success. But in terms of Mark Cerny sitting behind the wheel of a platformer, I think as a gamer, you can't help but be excited by that. So I thought those aspects were really good. I thought that was cool.
When they said it was a system designed by game developers for game developers, did that speak to you in terms of specs and what they were doing? Because that was always the hang-up people talked about with the PlayStation 3, that it was so hard to program for.
Yeah, look, here's what I'll tell you. I've been there for every PlayStation launch except this one, and I will tell you that when PS3 came out, there was definitely a sense of, okay, maybe there's some thoughts that should have gotten into the process that didn't get listened to. And I think this is a great team. It's great leadership. Andy House I've known since, I was at Sony ImageSoft, super smart guy, and just from him on down. And so I think, yeah, absolutely. I think it's clear they're listening. I think, and not just to developers, but to gamers. Honestly, one of my favorite parts about it, which I hate, is all you guys were just talking about, is just the waiting for a game to load up, and the fact that I can sort of just pause this and go do stuff and come back and I'm instantly in. That's a big deal to me. They dropped a few words and I didn't quite know what they meant when it came to things like more self-publishing, indie gamers, open. They used the word open. They didn't come right out and say open system or sort of open store like the App Store or anything. Mm-hmm. But it does make me wonder how far they're going to go when it comes to opening up the channels for lots of people to publish on PS4, because I honestly think when I say consoles are dead, a lot of it is because there's so many other appealing alternatives for less money that you can try all kinds of weird, wacky, crazy games, and I think that would be wonderful, and it seems like they may be moving towards that, but they didn't come right out and say it, so I'm eager to see where that goes.
Boutique games for interesting people.
What's that?
Boutique games for interesting people.
Whatever it takes. But for me, well, listen. Joking aside, look. The one thing I felt underwhelmed by, which says more about the industry or the console industry than it says about this, because I thought it was a really good press conference, was that nothing from a game standpoint stood out and made me say, holy shit, I have to play that. Unless you're really into graphics, and I know there are people who are, and that's great. They've probably been given a great payday today, like, holy shit, look at all these amazing looking games that I get to play. But for me, who likes graphics, and that's just one of many reasons I play games, and one of many reasons that I get excited about games, I didn't really see anything that made me say, holy cow, there's a mechanic there, or there's an IP there, or there's a twist there, or there's something there that I want to experience that I haven't before. And I know that that's coming. I think if you look at the DNA of the leadership at Sony, if you look at even PS3, which for a long time was trailing sort of in the race, was consistently, especially through first party, putting out interesting, new, innovative, different titles. Some worked, some didn't. I'm not worried about that as someone who plans on buying a PS4. But from a press conference standpoint, I did kind of go, I was missing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much, David.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It was fun to watch you guys on and off today. So I appreciate getting to be part of it.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking your time.
What's that?
We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah. No worries. All right.
All right, come back when you make a game, all right? Stop just lounging around in that futon back there with the fan on you.
I know. It's a lot more fun this way, though. It's more fun to kind of throw rocks from the peanut gallery.
That's what we do all the time.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course. See you guys later.
Later.
You say there's no game. They show an Infamous game, and you should say, "Oh, I'm not interested in games." You get the hell off the live stream, David Jaffe. Come over there and give you one of my.
We have about 15 minutes left in our post-show coverage here. We
Yeah.
still have 2 Rokus to give away.
Oh my gosh! Remember, tweet at IGN #PS4 with a question.
I feel like there's still so much to talk about.
There is. You want me to go through my notes? You want to pull up some notes here, Damien?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll open it up here.
Oh yeah, this is one of I was reminded by one of our viewers on Twitter there, A Side of Fray. They say they mentioned downloading games before we even think of getting them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Much. It's weird, like, so they're basically predicting your purchases. As they learn your behavior, as they learn what type of games you like, what developers you like, they can just sort of like load up a game, have it ready to go for you, and then if you want to pay for it, it's ready to go.
Right.
It's a little weird. It could be
It's
cool
a weird
though,
idea.
right?
I think it could be very cool because what they're not saying, obviously, is like just like anything else on any of your devices, I'm sure it's a checkbox you turn off. If that isn't cool to you, turn it off. Because like that was one of the tweets I saw of like, you know, we're gonna download all these games and eat up all your hard drive space. Well, it's like they're not forcing you to do that. I think to me it speaks more to the fact of like, if you are into games enough to watch this live stream, thank you very much. I don't know how much that works for you beyond the fact that it's just like, oh, I'm at work and I'm clearly into Infamous. Infamous goes live while I'm at work. It can download it while I'm gone. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's going to really change the way it works in a lot of ways for people outside of that fact of getting what you want done. But I like the idea of, hey, we noticed you've been enjoying a lot of games like Puzzle Quest and you download these kind of things. Or like for you like shmups. You missed this one. We downloaded one for you.
If you look at it just from a standpoint of like, if I know there's a new game coming out, I know I'm going to play it. Like I know I'm going to play Tomb Raider, right?
Right.
What if I just never had to think about either going to a store to buying it or navigating like an online?
Exactly. It just
store.
was there for you.
Just when I go home tonight and sit down, it's just going to be there.
Yeah.
It's just going to be ready.
That's exciting. Yeah, I mean that's a cool idea.
But
again, we are the kind of gamers though, and I think like I'm saying, most of you out there are too. That right? Is that going to be a 1201 thing? Like
1201.
If Tomb Raider was coming out, and I was going to buy it digitally, I'd want it at 1201 that night. And is the predictive PS4 going to be like that, or is it going to be more like, when the store rolls over in a week, we'll be like, oh, we noticed you haven't downloaded Tomb Raider. Here you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I'm interested to see where they go. And like that's what I'm talking about. When we were talking about what I was going to take away from this conference, what was going to get me excited about the new system, it's totally the nerdy stuff, the new look to the XMB, what it can do here, how online works, how Gaikai works, how it connects to the Vita.
But you weren't crazy about the new look of the XMB.
No, I am. I think it looks a lot like it. I think it looks.
You do like it?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
It looks a lot like Xbox, so you like it. Okay.
No. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lose you or you.
Maybe it was just me.
No, I made a joke. Yeah. I think it looks a lot like a Windows 8 phone, like all those dumb Gwen Stefani ads.
But that's a good thing.
But I thought jumping around. Yeah. Let me try to dial back here and pull up a screen. I thought it looked pretty good for where we were at.
You know where it is?
No, I know it's around here. You did all this stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out, pull up one of our winners of a Roku here.
Okay. They'll like that. They like it when you pull them up, Damien. Oh, look at that. This is what you're talking about.
Him?
I want to point out, everybody, that as usual, Colin Moriarty is going to argue that platinums mean more than your overall level and trophies. I'd like to once again point out that even on the PlayStation 4, the first thing you see is your level, your percentage, your number of trophies, then your platinums. So Colin Moriarty and Mike Mitchell can go to hell, because it don't matter. I'm still on top. But let's see what we got here. We didn't get to do this. Like, I like the about there. And they were talking about, that you can still use your whole, if you want to be, just game over Greggy, and you don't want people to, again, it's a checkbox that you can turn off. But for sure, I definitely like the idea. It reminds me a lot of what Xbox does that PlayStation hasn't been able to do with PSN versus Xbox Live. Xbox Live, I can go on there, and if you just see me in general, my gamer avatar, I believe, my game avatar is just the Mizzou Tiger right here. But then if you're my friend, you get to see that picture I took forever ago for 1,000 achievement points or whatever from Rainbow Six Vegas. But you can actually see a personalized photo, and I'm imagining that's what it's going to be here as well. This guy's Bush League trophies. Don't trust him. But he's been playing that.
Henry Vale?
Henry Vale, you don't know what you're up to. Let's see. Look around for that nice old XMB.
So we have a comment here. But I don't know if they would be good to give a Roku to.
Okay. Is it making fun of me?
No,
Okay.
not at all. It's not any spirit of. Okay, if I put it out there, though, we have to talk about whether this person gets a Roku.
Okay.
So this is Gavla93.
Okay.
They say, I noticed they always talked about downloading games, never about buying games. I assume he means at retail. I personally think they are getting rid of pre-owned.
Oh, right. Good point. Good
and then
point.
unhappy face. So I didn't know if he has an aversion to downloading games. Maybe he wouldn't want to like stream stuff digitally through a Roku. So I don't know if he'd be a good person to give it to. That's what I was saying.
I see what you're saying. No, I think it's not.
Maybe we should give it to him so we can try it out and learn that downloading games is good.
Yeah, I mean, his aversion to it is paying full price for a game. That you can't buy a used digital game. That's his aversion to it. He likes to buy his games used instead of a few bucks here or there. Or a pre-owned game, or like I said, it's a used game. Just a fancy way of saying used. But yeah, interesting. You're right. Like again, this is like we said that they would get to own the conversation until E3 when they have to start giving out hard information. So yeah, you don't come out and say that we have figured out a way to ban youth games if that's possible, if that's a thing that actually works. But I mean, in the same breath, I don't think they ever talked about Blu-ray disc. They never talked about the media format of what you're bringing. They just said we're bringing these huge games, these big blockbuster experiences to the thing, along with downloadable games. I got to imagine Knack's going to be downloadable.
Knack,
you're not putting that on a Blu-ray. Get the hell out of here, Marvel Madness.
We'll give Gavla 93 at Roku.
Good. I like that. Yeah. I'm interested to try it at Roku. Because even I'm doing it according to IGN.com. Drive Club, do anything for you? You're not a racing.
No, it reminded me of Burnout Paradise. That's what it sounded like to me, right?
I made it without trying.
A social driving game?
Yeah.
No, this is what you're
The whole interface that we've been talking about.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I immediately thought of Windows 8, Xbox.
Now, what I like about it, obviously, right, is that right here, game invitation. So, they're seeing B-roll, right, Sean? Or am I just being an idiot? Okay. Well, you have a headset that talks to the room. Thank you. Game invitation, it's not an overload information. Right now, when you turn on your PS3, over here you got this RSS feed scrolling, you got all this junk over here, all these things pop up down here, and then you got the XMB nobody understands, and you never, a lot of people, I shouldn't say never, obviously, I know how to look for it. People don't see that you have a message, right? You turn off notifications, you never know something like that's popping up. That's interesting. But like for sure, like especially like even the color scheme, right? Very Xboxy.
Yes. What are we looking at here? Are these fake games? Baseball Max?
Yeah, I don't know.
And Mr. and Mrs. Fluffy?
Mr. and Mrs. Fluffy. Baseball. The Race. Championship Football. Racing State Staff.
I'm going to be disappointed if Mr. and Mrs. Fluffy doesn't actually come out.
Most viewed video. And then an Emerald Relic and a Sunstone. We got your new friends, trophies. We're doing rewind. Shared media. Does it do? What did you think? What did you take away from being able to, do the video, share the video, put up the video? Does that excite you? I know we talked. Okay.
I think that's great. I think it's necessary. Like that is what gaming culture is today. People sharing, interesting, fun tip videos.
Sure.
Doesn't matter what it is. You want to be able to share what
I like.
What you're playing.
They didn't talk a lot about. Well, they did, I guess, when they're talking about video streaming, like people being able to join you. It'd be cool. Have strangers join you and everything else.
What about like joining games that you don't own? I wasn't really sure how that works.
Yeah, good point. I bet you do have to own it if you're going to jump in and do anything with it.
But the Gaikai, or David Perry, when he was talking about Gaikai, he was like, he believes in being able to try a lot of games and then buy the ones he really, really love.
Yeah, yeah.
So it must be like a time thing?
Yeah, I bet it would probably be, you figure, if you're taking away the download thing, right, where you can just jump in. Sony does, through PlayStation Plus, the idea of a 1-hour trial, where you get to play the game for an hour, and then at the very end it goes, did you like this? Do you want to buy it? And then you can, and you can go on with your life. I would imagine it would be similar to that with Gaikai, except that you don't have to wait for it to download. You can just go into it and get going.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to give away our other Roku.
Okay.
To President Poner.
President Poner, okay.
Poner.
Poner, I said Poner. I did say, I know it sounded like boner, like an erection, but I said Poner.
His question comes in 2 parts.
Okay.
Part 1.
Yeah.
Where do you think PlayStation lacked in their conference?
Okay. So question 1, I thought the pacing could have been better. It seemed like it was.
I totally agree with David that like it was more interesting in the beginning and then sort of.
In the very beginning, and then but it was almost, and they kind of set it up that way too. And they were like, "No, we're done talking about games, but here come people to talk about things they want to do with games." It was kind of like. Yeah. All right. Like David Cage comes out and I'm like, talk about Beyond? Oh, okay, no. We're just going to talk about polygons and show this old man.
We joke about it all the time, but they really don't do, and one more thing very often. Like that actually doesn't happen very often.
I know. I like a good one more thing.
I know. Do a one more thing.
Yeah, there's just like Destiny. It's like, oh, Craig Miller predicted that. No big deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything for you on that one?
Also agree with David that, like I was saying before, I'm really excited about the features of the PlayStation 4. I didn't see a game that really excited me personally.
Yeah,
no.
I'm
still excited for Watch Dogs, but I was already excited about that.
I'm there with you. I mean, obviously, I lost my mind over Infamous, but they didn't show. They didn't show Infamous gameplay. They showed a trailer with what looks to be a new protagonist, new city. All interesting. It gets me excited, gets me down for it. If that's a launch game, then I mean, like for sure, give me the PlayStation 4. But yeah, I mean, even Killzone, Killzone 2, I loved Killzone. And played it. Even after I beat it, would come home and play nightly for like 2 weeks, which is a long time in our job to come home and play multiplayer with other people and be like into a clan and stuff. But Killzone 3, I never even finished. I was just like, I'm done. Ooh, if you're on IGN.com, scroll right below the video. We got a photo here, a Colin interview, and Shuhei Yoshida. Shuhei, you are losing weight. Someone feed that man. I don't like this one bit.
I think they were in the same shirt.
I bet Colin brought another one and gave it to Shuhei, or vice versa. They were like, let's match.
The second part of Mr. President's question.
Mr. President.
Do you think the PS Vita has a reason to be relevant now?
My God.
A reason to be relevant? Is he saying it was irrelevant?
I mean, it wasn't doing well before, right? And like people aren't motivated to go out and buy it a lot of times. You don't own a PlayStation Vita. I
have one through work.
Yeah, well, but okay, you don't have one through. I come back and I take it back and I put it back in the PlayStation thing. Would you run out and buy one?
No.
You say, you don't have to do this. You don't have to be like, how many times do I say I have it, a lot of the PlayStation Vita is just like I think the Wii U for a lot of people. Whatever, that seems like a cool idea. I'll buy it when something's on it that I want to play it. You know what I mean? Like Uncharted Golden Abyss and, again, Luminous, which it should have, didn't do it for a lot of people. But when they put out Assassin's Creed Liberation, that sold incredibly well. That did, I mean, like 600,000 copies, I think, something crazy like that. Like some crazy amount for a Vita game that we saw. And it's like, yeah, if you're going to put out a game that people really, really want, if you would have put out a Call of Duty that didn't suck, people would have bought that, and they would have bought the system, and then there's a reason for it to be relevant. Right now, it's relevant to the PlayStation faithful. The people like nerdy-ass people like myself who are like, well, I want to get a couple bronzes while I'm on the train, or I want to check my PSN messages, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to the general people who don't care about the PlayStation or the ecosystem, then no. You need to give them a reason to. So, yeah, you put out the PlayStation 4, and you show all this cool streaming stuff, and Gaikai's doing this, and you can, maybe, we haven't talked about this yet, they confirmed no backwards compatibility for PlayStation 3.
Yeah, but there will be a solution.
Sure, through Gaikai is what they said. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I missed it. Are you taking away from it that if I own a game now on PlayStation 3 that Gaikai is going to let me connect that dot?
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually you'll be able to stream these games from Gaikai.
Correct.
But I don't know, how does it know if you already own them?
Exactly.
Do you have to buy them again?
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. There was a lot of. We were talking about that they showed a lot of stuff, but then there were a lot of still we are going to get to this eventually. You know what I mean? One day we'd hope to remote play every PS4 game. It's like, oh man, I heard this about PS3. I remember this.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was already 2 hours long.
Sure.
What are they going to do? Just talk about PS4 for 5 hours?
They should do it where they break the conference into multiple days.
Yeah.
It's like a GDC for PlayStation 4, and I just get to go. Real quick, if we can bring up this now streaming screen I've stopped on here. First off, someone's stolen Naomi Kyle's name. Naomi, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. But if you notice, we were talking about maybe they're showing other things. Again, Ustream only is what they're showing there for what you're using to stream, which is definitely interesting, seeing as how YouTube is so prevalent. I wonder if this here, the comment field, is this
where is the comment coming from?
Yeah, exactly. Is this pulling from Ustream, or is this that you're streaming on your PlayStation 3 and then over here and this is what's happening? But then command like that, and join by all this stuff. Little picture yourself using that PlayStation Move thing, I imagine.
Yeah. Probably.
But interesting stuff.
Takeaway. We've arrived at the end of our show today. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we all agree that it was a good event.
Yeah. No.
PlayStation 4 is an exciting console.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good takeaway. Yeah. I think we said in the beginning that, or at least I said that I wanted them to come out and show that they're about games. We're PlayStation 4. This is what you need, and they've done that. They've laid a really good foundation of stream your games, download your games, play as you download, all this cool stuff, and now they need to build on that and say, here's an Uncharted, let's show some Infamous stuff, let's do this, let's get Call of Duty on board to do something cool, Battlefield, something.
Yeah. I've been very excited for a while leading up to this event, and now that it's over, I'm still really excited to see what Microsoft's going to do, to see what, there's going to be a pretty steady stream of PlayStation 4 news coming up over the next year. So, like we've said before, this is probably the most exciting year for video games, maybe ever.
Yeah.
Definitely an exciting time to be involved with it. So stay tuned to IGN. We will be covering the PlayStation 4 and all next generation video games news going forward. Thanks for hosting the show with me, Greg.
Damon, it's been a pleasure.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.